What do I like to tell you guys? There is never ever a dull day as a Nebraska fan, especially when we get to the middle of the season. It's no shocker when it was announced today around 1 o'clock Central that the Penn State Nittany Lions have fired longtime head coach James Franklin in the number one name associated with their potential brand new head coach is Mr. Matt Rhule. So in today's live stream, we're going to talk about the facts. We're going to talk about what's going on, whether or not he'll leave. We'll talk about some opinions in there as well. Will Matt Rhule actually leave Nebraska? If that happens, where do we go from here? We're going to be very honest. We're going to leave no stone unturned, and we're going to talk about everything. So I want to start off with three narratives that I've heard today. And I think all of these narratives are completely incorrect. And I've heard all of these from Nebraska fans. Okay. The first narrative, and I see this a lot on social media right now, is that there is a 0% chance that Matt Rhule leaves Nebraska. I don't think that's valid at all. And again, am I saying that Matt Rhule right now is, a lock to go to Penn State? Absolutely not. But how can you sit here and honestly tell me or tell anybody that Matt Rhule's guaranteed to stay at Nebraska? He loves it at Nebraska, and I don't believe he's going to leave us for any other program. But once again, this is a special circumstance over at Penn State. Okay, so it's definitely not a 1% or a 0% chance that he's going to potentially leave us, right? It's definitely in their 15, 20, 30% chance, right? Especially if he has an offer on the table. The second narrative that's completely wrong is that there's a 100% chance he's gone. Well, that's not a fact. I've seen a lot of reports from, beat reporters that say, oh, it's expected to happen within a week. It's expected to happen very soon. They're trying to get Matt Rhule, with an interview, and they're going to put an offer on the table. That's not true either, right? This is going to be a slow process. If Matt Rhule does leave, it will be probably at the end of the season when we get to November. Okay, this is not happening overnight. And the third perception I've heard that's wrong is that, oh, we just shouldn't talk about it. It's rumors. There's no real substance. Well, I agree with that maybe a couple weeks ago when James Franklin was still at Penn State, but now there is real substance. And when you look and you Google Matt Rhule's name right now, every single search that comes up is he is the number one candidate for the Penn State job, and for good reason. For good reason. Okay. And I wanted to share with you guys this off the very get-go. Not this. We'll go to this real quick. There are betting odds on every single sports book, every single publication that you can imagine on who will be the next head coach of Penn State. Matt Rhule's number one. Okay, you got Bill O'Brien at number 2. You got Kirk Cinetti at number 3, which I believe would be a slam dunk hire, no question about it. Again, you got Urban Meyer on there. Urban Meyer's not going to Penn State. You got Lane Kiffin, right? The usual suspects. But again, you look at every single site, they are linking Matt Rhule. And again, there's good reason, right? Because of the fact that he's from Pennsylvania. Okay. That's home. He said multiple times that while he loves Nebraska, Nebraska's home to him as well. You can never take away his roots. Okay. And he grew up in that town. He didn't not only grew up in Pennsylvania, but he grew up again where Penn State plays. Okay. He went to Penn State. He loves that program. He will die for that program. Yeah. There's real reason to be concerned. And then what I just found out a couple minutes ago before I hopped on my live stream, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Penn State athletic director, guess who that is? Guess who the Penn State athletic director is? Because that's the guy who's making the hire. Guess who that is? I'll give you a second. The Penn State athletic director is Patrick Kraft. Now, that name might not mean anything to you, but guess who was the athletic director at Temple when Matt Rhule was there and actually hired Matt Rhule, and who Matt Rhule has a really good connection with, and they're best buds? Patrick Kraft. So not only would Matt Rhule willingly go to Penn State, probably if he had an offer to go back home, to go back to his athletic director that he once had, but it's pretty likely to say that, because of that connection, because of the fact that Patrick Kraft and him are best buds, that Patrick Kraft really wants to hire Matt Rhule again. Okay. So I know, again, in my opinion, Scott Frost, or excuse me, why I say Scott Frost. In my opinion, Matt Rhule would take the job if there was a real legit offer on the table. The big question is whether or not Penn State's actually going to offer that. Now that they have that connection, now that we know they're best buds, there's a very real possibility Penn State will offer him. Okay. And there's been a lot of pushback on social media. I've talked to a lot of Penn State fans today. I've seen a lot of what they've been talking about. They do not like Matt Rhule. They do not want to hire Matt Rhule because they believe that Matt Rhule cannot win the big game. They think he's James Franklin 2.0. And I'm not here to debate whether or not they're correct. They might be right? Matt Rhule has a record of 2-27 ranked games. Yeah, he has not had a tendency of winning those type of ball games. But what we know about Matt Rhule is that he's a leader of men. He's a great developer. He constantly brings programs, who are maybe 6 or 7 wins up to national relevancy, up to the best teams in their conference. And he hasn't been at a program long enough to potentially become a top 10 program consistently. But there is a lot of expectations, particularly inside Nebraska, that if he were to stay here for a long time, that he could potentially lead Nebraska to be, one of the best teams of the Big Ten. Okay, but the reason that didn't happen at Baylor or Temple is because, again, he left. So there's a lot of reason to like Matt Rhule if you're a Penn State fan. There's a lot of reason to not like Matt Rhule if you're a Penn State fan. But the facts are the facts. The facts are right now, according to every single betting site, he is number one. If you go on any single article, they say Matt Rhule is the guy. You know, there was a report by a CBS guy not too long ago that said that, you know, he's heard sources already that Penn State, they're going to reach out to Matt Rhule. Matt Rhule has been very silent on social media recently. He hasn't really tweeted out anything. Again, I don't blame him. You know, if I'm Matt Rhule, this is, again, a very tempting offer. I know a lot of us just want Matt Rhule to go out there and tweet something out and say, I'm 100% committed to Nebraska. Well, you know, again, I think Matt Rhule would be stupid not to at least entertain this a little bit, or at least not use this as leverage to get a contract extension or get a raise from the Huskers. But yeah, it would have been nice if Matt Rhule just say, you know what, I'm committed to Nebraska right off the very bat. But I do believe he will entertain this. I really do. I do. And we already have a Penn State fan in the chat who says we don't want Matt Rhule. Here's the thing around Penn State as well. Here's the reason why I am concerned that Penn State actually will hire Matt Rhule. If not Matt Rhule, who will they hire? That's my question to you. Okay, you can sit here all day long, whether you're a Nebraska fan or a Penn State fan, and you could say, oh, Matt Rhule's not going to go there. You might be right. You might be right. But if not Matt, who? Okay, put your money where your mouth is. We got a Penn State sports talk guy in here. Okay, who are you guys going to hire? Because let's look at the betting odds. And this is the reason why I think we should be concerned about this, is because there's a huge drop-off. The two biggest candidates for this job are Matt Rhule and Kirk Cinetti. Everybody after that is either unrealistic or a huge drop-off. Okay, Kirk Cinetti, in my opinion, is not going to leave Indiana at all. Okay, I know that might be the betting favorite right now. Why would Kirk Cinetti leave? Why? Why would he? Why would he leave? Kirk Cinetti already has a team that is worthy of winning the national championship this year. They just beat Oregon yesterday. So it's not like Penn State's that much better of a situation. Penn State is a worse team than Indiana is right now. It's crazy to say that, but literally, Indiana can win the national championship. At least they can make a run this year. And it also should be mentioned that Kirk Cinetti is an old coach. Okay, Kirk Cinetti, again, he might retire in a couple years. He's not super young. So why would he go to Penn State when he already has a national championship worthy team in Indiana? So Kirk Cinetti's completely off the table, in my opinion. Like, that's not happening. I think Kirk Cinetti's a lot less likely than Matt Rhule to go over to Penn State. So if not Kirk Cinetti and if not Matt Rhule, who's it going to be? That's why I'm concerned it's going to be Matt Rhule, because there's just not a slam dunk hire. I've heard, again, we got Matt Campbell's in the chat. Why would Matt Campbell go? Why would they even want Matt Campbell to begin with? Matt Campbell's not very good. He just lost to Colorado yesterday. Okay, maybe a couple years ago you could have told me Matt Campbell, but again, that program is not an upper trajectory anymore. Okay, Manny Diaz, really? You think Manny Diaz is going to go back to Penn State? No way. Okay, Urban Meyer, that's not happening. Lane Kiffin, that's not happening. That's a worse job at Penn State. Joe Brady, he's not going there. Will Stein, maybe, you know. So really, the only two picks that are slam dunks are Matt Rhule or Kirk Cinetti. All the others are just complete big drop-offs, or they're not realistic. That's why we should be a little bit concerned, just a little bit. So that's my question to you. If you want to go in the chat, and again, you can think whatever you want to think. It's okay to disagree with me. That's perfectly fine. But if you do not believe that Penn State will at least go after Matt Rhule, then tell me who they're going to hire instead. And don't say Kirk Cinetti, because that's even less likely. Okay, and I don't know. I don't think it's going to be an NFL coach unless somebody gets fired. Again, we don't know what the coaching carousel is going to look like. But here's my early impression of what's going to happen. My impression is that Penn State is going to go through this process. They're not going to hire somebody until, late to mid-November. Their top picks, whether it's a Lane Kiffin, a Nick Saban, all these crazy picks you've heard, Dan Lanning. None of these guys are going to want to go there because that's stupid. So they're going to go to their second tier, and they're going to go to the Kirk Cinettis, and he's going to say no. And then they're going to go to, go down the line, and they're all going to say no. And they're sitting there on their seventh or eighth option, and it's Matt Rhule. And then again, if they do contact Matt Rhule and give him a legit offer, who says that he says no? I think they're going to hire. I think they're going to absolutely give him a real offer. Matt Rhule's a great interviewer. He's a leader of men. He knows that city. He knows that town. He knows that state through and through. Why would they not? Why would they not give him a legit offer? So I'm not sitting here like completely doom and gloom. I mean, people are asking me, what are the odds Matt Rhule leaves? 30%, 25%. Like, it's not favorable odds for sure. But again, it's worthy enough to be concerned about. Absolutely. Absolutely it is. Absolutely. So again, we need to have that conversation right off the very bat. Now, what would this mean for Nebraska if Matt Rhule were to leave? I don't really want to have that conversation right now. We have to wait and see if, again, this continues to heat up, whether or not he's actually going to go to Penn State, whether or not he's going to entertain this any further. It would be pretty catastrophic for the Nebraska program. I think it would be, because we're on an upper trajectory. Now, I'm not of the belief that maybe Matt Rhule is going to bring us to a national championship. I've said that before, where I think Matt Rhule is going to bring us to stability for sure. I think he's going to bring us to be one of the better teams in the Big Ten, maybe not one of the best. But the reason why it would be catastrophic if he left would be we're starting from scratch all over again. I'm not trying to go through another head coaching hiring process again. Okay, that's stressful enough. And we've made a lot of mistakes. Do you really trust that Nebraska's leadership is going to hire the right coach if Matt Rhule were to leave? Do you really trust that? Like, I don't. That's the same administration that hired Scott Frost, that hired Mike Riley. And yes, we have a brand new athletic director, but we still have the same board of regents. We still have the same people around the program, the same boosters who really make the decisions behind the scenes. Do you really trust this university to make the right hire if Matt were actually to go? So that's why it's paramount for this university to say, you know what, even if there is an offer on the table, even if Penn State does come calling, we got to do whatever it takes to keep Matt here. Although Matt might not be the best coach in the world, while maybe he's not, again, a top 5, top 10 coach in college football, he's solid. And he's bringing us to stability. That's really all we want. When we hired him, I never wanted him to bring us to a national championship. I just wanted him to bring us to 8-9 wins, to bring us back to Bo Pelini. Okay? That's what he's doing. So it is what it is, man. But I do not trust this university if you were to leave to make that right move, to make the right hire. And I know we're going to get some crazy people who come in here and say, oh, Dana Holgorsen should take over. What has Dana Holgorsen showed you this year that would give you confidence that he'd be a good coach? Okay, his best days of head coaching are beyond him, right? Mike Eckler's not meant to be a head coach. People will say Nick Saban, Urban Meyer, Lane Kiffin, all these crazy. No, I mean, again, I don't want to have this conversation now because, again, we still have to see some legit trends that are going in that way that potentially he will actually take the Penn State job. But again, there are some serious implications for Nebraska. I know I got some comments earlier today who said, oh, who cares? It's not going to mean anything if he leaves. It means a lot. It means a lot. Okay. And it means that we'd have a bunch of players enter the transfer portal. We would literally have 50 players enter the portal overnight. Overnight. That's what happens when you have a players coach. If a players coach leaves, every single good player you have is gone. Okay, Dylan will be gone the next day. Emmett will be gone the next day. Jacory will be gone the next day. All the young players you thought you liked, whether it was Cortez Mills, a TJ Lateef, go down like Cade Petschok, Vincent Shavers, all those guys will be gone. So to the people who are like, oh, if Matt Rhule's not even going to be that big of a loss, we shouldn't even worry about this. Like, what are you saying? What are you saying, man? So again, it's important to me that if this ends up happening, if Penn State does end up calling him, the Nebraska does enough within their administration to say, you know, we're going to put a stop to this. We're going to offer you whatever it takes. Now, the problem is I don't think he's going to take Penn State because of money. You know, it's easy to say, well, we should just give him a raise and then he'll stay. Well, we forget that Matt Rhule is already getting paid as much money as any other coach in America. He's getting paid, $9.5 million per year, which honestly, up until this year was maybe a little bit too much. Now we're giving him a raise all of a sudden. Like, I don't know if that's really what's necessary. I think we just need to give him a vision, say, you know what, this is going to be your best place long-term when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to NIL, when it comes to potential. You build a family here. You have a house here. You love it here. Put your money where your mouth is. So... yeah, I mean, it is nervous. It's a nervous time to be a Nebraska fan, and I tweeted this out. I definitely want your opinions on this. What would you rather have? Would you rather go 11-1 this season, win out? And it's actually pretty possible when you look at the rest of our schedule. Would you rather win out, go 11-1, make the playoffs, but it guarantees you that Matt Rhule leaves? Or, here's the second option, would you like to stumble at the end of the season, only finish 7-5, be a little bit disappointed, make a medium tier bowl game, but Matt Rhule stays? What would you rather have? That's a question to you. That's a question to you. Because that's really what it is. It's a double-edged sword, man. It really is. Okay. It's either we find success and okay, like he's going to be number one on their list and he might leave, or we don't find success and he stays. I think that's a legit question. I think that's absolutely a legit question, so I want your comments on that. All right, we got a super chat in here. I'm going to get to it. Again, we got a lot of comments in tonight. If you guys want your comment read, instantly put in a super chat. Oh, man, Jake, he says, would you rather hire Zach Taylor or Dana Holgorsen? Neither, man. Neither. Absolutely neither. I mean, Zach Taylor, he's going to be fired in about 2 days. Zach Taylor's never coached, head coached at college before. I don't think he knows how to recruit. And I get, he went to the Super Bowl a couple years ago, but he wouldn't have done anything without Joe Burrow, that offense, right? Jamar Chase. So I don't want Zach Taylor. I wouldn't touch him at all. I wouldn't mind him on the coaching staff. Like, if he were an assistant or an offense coordinator, I don't think that'd be too bad. But as a head coach, no. Dana Holgorsen, I mean, I don't want Dane either. I think Dane is meant to be an offensive coordinator going forward. I think his best days are behind him. He struggled with NIL. He struggled with the new age of recruiting when he was at Houston, going into 2020, 2021. So, again, I think Dana might take another head coaching job elsewhere, but I don't want that to be here. And I don't think he's proved enough as our offensive coordinator that should give us confidence that would be a good decision. Okay, right now, I think it's pretty respectable to say that Dana Holgorsen has been our worst coordinator this year. Not to say he's been bad, but we've had three pretty good coordinators, and I'd rank it, Mike Eckler, John Butler, Dana in that order. So I don't really want Dana. I don't really want Dana there. Alan says, good grief, he's gone. No, he's not. Not yet, man. Not yet. But again, it is concerning. I mean, there were some legit sources earlier today. Again, whether it was from On3, CBS Sports, you go down the line, there were some legit sources, beat reporters who have a lot of credibility, who tweeted out that they have received legit sources, legit tips that Penn State is mightily intrigued with Matt Rhule. Okay, that is concerning. That is a real rumor. To all the people who are like, oh, there's no real rumors. That's real. That's real. That's not even a rumor. That's a fact. Okay, so that's a fact. My man Mark says, all this Matt Rhule at Penn State talk is dumb. He's not going to leave. Again, you can have that opinion. That's fine. That's fine. You can have that opinion. But again, my question to you is, who are they going to hire instead? Okay, if you think Matt Rhule's not going to leave, that's fine. But who are they going to hire instead? Is it going to be Kirk Cinetti? Because Kirk Cinetti is a lot less likely than even Matt Rhule. And Mark, that's a great, you can have that opinion. Do you understand the predicament that Matt Rhule has right now in his life? Okay, he loves Penn State with his whole heart. He grew up to be a fan of that team. He loves that team as much as you can love any team. Okay, so I'll throw an example. Imagine you're the head coach of, let's say you're the head coach of Cal. Okay, you're the head coach of the Cal Golden Bears, but you grew up in Nebraska. You were to be a Nebraska fan your entire life. Okay, but you love Cal. You have a great lifestyle in Cal. You have a great family. You have a great house. You're recruiting very well. You're on an upper trajectory. You love Cal with your whole heart. You never want to leave. You're coming off an 8-win season, and you get a phone call. It's from Troy Dana at Nebraska. Troy says, "Hey, you're doing a really good job at Cal. We're going to offer you $10 million to come back to Nebraska, come back to your home, coach at the place that you always wanted to be at the entire time." What would you say to that? Okay, look at it through your shoes, not Matt Rhule's shoes, your shoes. And if we look at it through our shoes, I think the majority of Nebraska fans would say, yeah, I'm going to go back to Nebraska because we love this team. So let's not get emotions. Let's not get emotional. Let's not let emotions really cloud our view. Okay, we all want Matt Rhule to be here. No question about it. But Matt Rhule did not grow up to be a fan of this team just like we did. Matt Rhule grew up to be a Penn State fan. He has family on the East Coast. His parents were on the East Coast. His cousins are on the East Coast. Okay. He has a lot of respect for the East Coast recruiting, the East Coast way of life. He vacations in the East Coast all the time. He returns back to the East Coast all the time. He loves it. He was talking about this past week that when we went to Maryland, he was so happy to be back on the East Coast because he loves it there, because he loves that way. So again, I'm not ripping you, Mark, for thinking that Matt Rhule is going to stay. Again, I think there's a very high likelihood that Matt Rhule stays, for sure. But it's not a 0% chance that he's leaving. Or, again, there's a real possibility, and we need to discuss it. Because, once again, he grew up to be a fan of that team, and we know how hard that is to say no to. So, appreciate your comment, though, Mark. Byfield Racing, thank you for the super chat. If you guys want to comment, Red instantly put in a super chat. He says 9-3 and purposely blow it against Penn State so Rhule stays. Maybe, man. Hey, we don't want to do that, though. We don't want to do that. And this is why I'm super conflicted. We can't have nice things as Nebraska fans. We just can't have nice things. Again, we're having, not yet, but the way this season is looking, we could potentially have one of the all-time seasons this year, at least in the past 25 years. Okay, we're 5-1 right now. We have a very easy schedule going forward. There is a very real possibility that Nebraska wins out. There is a very real possibility that Nebraska makes the college football playoffs. Believe that. Not because maybe we're the best team in the world, but because our schedule is that easy. So it frustrates me that, finally all this good, the good mojo is going around the program. And then we have to worry about our coach leaving. Because we've never really been in scenarios like this before, man. We've never had to worry about coaches leaving us because we've been that program, okay? We never had to worry about Devaney leaving us, Osborne leaving us, Solich leaving us. We didn't have to worry about Pelini ever leaving us, okay? We've never had to worry about this before. This is something new, okay? So, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Would you take Lane Kiffin here at Nebraska? Lane Kiffin's not leaving. Again, every single time there's somebody who gets fired, they're like, oh, we're going to hire Lane Kiffin. Why would Lane Kiffin leave Ole Miss? He's getting paid great. He gets recruits every year. He's competing for national championships. And let's just be very honest here. Let's take off the rose-colored sunglasses. Ole Miss is a way better job than Nebraska is right now. So why would he go to Nebraska? Why? No, that's definitely not happening. Definitely not happening. And I don't even know if I want Lane Kiffin to begin with. So, yeah. But yeah, again, we've never had to worry about a coach leaving Nebraska before. And I'll tell you this, guys, too. To all the people who say that, again, 0% chance of happening, Matt Rhule's not going to leave. Why do you think that? Because we know how crazy college football is. We know how crazy this game is. We see crazy things happen all the time. Nobody ever thought that, Nick Saban was going to retire last year. Nobody thought Lincoln Riley was going to go from Oklahoma to USC. Nobody thinks any of that. And yet it happens every year. We see crazy stuff happen all the time. Nobody even thought James Franklin was going to get fired today. Okay, unexpected and crazy things happen every single week in college football. This would not even be shocking in the slightest if this were to happen. This is the most unpredictable sport for a reason. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, let's get back to the comment section here. We got a lot in here. Again, we get a lot of comments. So again, I'm not begging for super chats, but again, if you guys want your comment read instantly, put in a super chat. It helps me see it. Helps it get highlighted in the chats. Let's see. Penn State fans view Rhule as a lateral move. They are all hung up on Cignetti and Urban Meyer. They want a natty, win Big Ten, not a builder. They do mention they don't want to pull in Nebraska. Again, you might be right, but again, the Penn State fans are the ones making the decision. The Penn State fans are not the ones who are making the decision. The people who are making the decision are the athletic director and, again, the board of regents and everyone else associated with that university. And again, the athletic director is best friends in that role. That is a huge concern. How can you sit here and tell me that Penn State does not want to go after Matt Rhule when their athletic director is literally best friends with him, constantly communicates with him, and he hired him before at Temple? So, it is what it is. Jimbo Fisher, again, I don't know if you think that Jimbo Fisher's going to us or going to Florida State, but Jimbo Fisher's terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. No way, man. No way. I'm a little late to the party here, but they started to put down roots here. His wife with her business and their kids going to or planning to go to UNL. I'm torn here. Again, you're right. They do have, they have a beautiful house, I believe, right outside of Lincoln. I've drove by it a couple times off the interstate. So they have a great house. Again, his son is at Lincoln. His two daughters go to school in Omaha. Again, his wife has a salon business or something in Lincoln. So yeah, they absolutely have ties here. But once again, money talks and going home talks. Okay, that's nothing that they can't replace overnight. Okay, I mean, his wife can easily have a business in State College, easily. And his son would probably not be mad about transferring to Penn State, because Penn State's a pretty good degree. Like, not to crap on Nebraska's degree. I think we're a pretty good college, but Penn State's a little bit better of a college. You know what I mean? They're top 30, top 40 in America. So, I mean, arguably, if you're looking at it from a father perspective, would you rather have your kids get a degree from Penn State or a degree from Nebraska? Probably Penn State, honestly, looks a little bit better, right? So again, yes, he has ties here. He loves it at Nebraska. I believe when he says that. I don't think he's lying to our faces. He does love it at Nebraska. Matt Rhule is not leaving Nebraska for any other program. But once again, this is a significant change. This is a unique opportunity. This is the only place he would ever leave us for. Because when you are dealing with an alma mater, you're dealing with something personal. You're absolutely dealing with something personal. Real quick, everybody, hit that like button on the stream. Again, we're going to go for a while here going over all your comments, all the developments. Again, I'm waiting for more breaking news to happen. I'm monitoring all the social medias as we speak. But again, hit that like button on the stream. If you're somehow watching this and you're not subscribed, I mean, what are you waiting for? Best family here in Husker YouTube. Be a part of it. Hit that subscribe button. But everybody, hit that like button on the stream. Let's get to 100. All right, back to the comment section. My man, David, one of the best Omaha YouTubers. Everybody give David a subscription. He does a great job. He says the fact that the AD is friends with Matt Rhule is very concerning. Exactly. I think that's a little bit more concerning than even, the fact that Matt Rhule is from Penn State. Okay, that it's more concerning that, again, he is best friends with, what is his name? What's the athletic director's name at Penn State? I just forgot it. Patrick Kraft. The fact that he's best friends with him, again, he talks about Patrick Kraft all the time since he got hired by Nebraska, how much he respects him. That's huge. So that not only tells me that Matt Rhule would take the job if he was offered, but it tells me that Patrick Kraft, likely Matt Rhule's very high on his board. They want to reunite because the last time they were together, they had a lot of success, man. A lot of success. A lot of success. Hired Gabe Irvin and Tommy Hill. That's so funny, man. I believe in Matt Rhule and that he will be a Husker into next season and beyond. I hope you're right, man. I absolutely hope you're right. And here's the thing. I know we all kind of want Matt Rhule to have a statement tonight and say, oh, I'm 100% committed to Nebraska. I think we'll get some clarity tomorrow. We'll get some clarity tomorrow for sure about if Matt Rhule is actually interested in the Penn State job, because he will have a press conference tomorrow. And it will probably be Matt Rhule's most watched press conference since he's been in Nebraska. He will be, live at 12 o'clock noon. And I guarantee you the first question, it'll be asked by Sean Callahan or Sam McEwen or Steve Sipple might ask this question. You never know. But we know what the first question is going to be. The first question will be, hey, Matt, what are your opinions on Penn State hiring James Franklin? I'm sure you've seen the rumors over these past couple hours. Just what do you think about the whole situation? And have you been contacted? I mean, that's what the question's going to be. So we're going to get clarity tomorrow. And to be fair, Matt Rhule, you know what he's going to say. It's going to be all politician-like. He'll say, yeah, that's unfortunate. James Franklin was doing a really good job at Penn State. I thought he probably should have had some more time there. Again, it's obviously an exciting opportunity, and I'll monitor or something like that, right? So again, if you expect Matt Rhule to go in his press conference tomorrow and say, it's absolutely not happening, I'm saying Nebraska, it's probably not going to happen. But we will get clarity in some fashion tomorrow, which I'm excited to see for sure. And again, we'll have the latest on the channel, no question about it. But again, that will be the first question tomorrow. Absolutely. It absolutely will be. Can I get a shout out? Yes. Shout out to you, Big Red Breakdown. That's my guy. What about Kenny Dillingham? I don't want to touch him. If I'm a Nebraska fan, or excuse me, I am a Nebraska fan. Even if I'm a Penn State fan, I would not touch Kenny Dillingham, because I mean, yeah, he made the playoffs last year, but look at what they're doing this year. They're struggling mightily in a terrible conference. So, yep. Don't forget his first head coaching job was at Temple. Yep, exactly right. He has ties, man. He loves Pennsylvania. The 27 class is cooked if Rhule leaves. I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, it depends on who we hire, right? I mean, and again, this is all hypothetical, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say Matt Rhule leaves, but in a case where Matt Rhule does in fact go, no, the 27 class isn't cooked. We might still have some things that happen. But it is what it is. Would you be fine with Dana taking over if Rhule leaves? Absolutely not. Dana's best days of coaching are behind him. I hear Luke Fickell will be available if we need a coach. Yeah, no. And I did tweet this out a little longer ago. I said, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, say what you want about Trev Alberts. I know Trev Alberts is one of the most hated men in Nebraska, right? Oh, you can never touch foot in Lincoln ever again. Say what you want about Trev Alberts, but Trev literally saved our program by hiring Matt Rhule over Luke Fickell 3 years ago. Because I'd say a lot more Nebraska fans wanted Fickell than Matt Rhule, including myself. I was doing YouTube, again, when we hired Matt Rhule. I wasn't that very big at the time, and I wasn't like the biggest Matt Rhule guy, because I was like, oh, he's coming in from, the Panthers. He was terrible with them. I didn't know if he was going to actually rebound and go back to what he was at Baylor. I was more so on the Fickell train. And how could you not like Fickell? Fickell was a home run hire for Wisconsin. They just were coming off a playoff appearance. So credit where credit's due to Trev Alberts. He made some really good hires at Nebraska. Again, he hired Matt Rhule. Again, he hired a couple other coaches. I think Matt Rhule is really the only coach he hired. The other ones were by Bill Moose. But again, he made his big one count. So shout out to Trev Alberts for that, for sure. Rhule said numerous times he isn't leaving unless we want him to. But again, that's fine. What's he supposed to say? If Matt Rhule's asked that question in a podcast, what's he supposed to say? Oh, yes, I'll leave. Every coach in America says that they're going to stay at their current destination for the rest of their coaching career. Okay, that's not newsworthy. And again, I believe Matt Rhule when he says that. I believe that Matt Rhule does not really want to leave Nebraska. But once again, this is a unique chance. This is a unique opportunity. This is special. This is home. Will Matt Rhule ever leave Nebraska for, UCLA, Miami, Texas? No, I don't think so. But again, this is different. This is different. And Matt Rhule has talked about time and time again in the past how he loves Penn State. And if he had the opportunity, he may be considering that. So, it is what it is. Kalen DeBoer from South Dakota. We do not want Kalen DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer is Scott Frost 2.0, man. Scott Frost 2.0. Bring back Tony White back. Bring Tony White back to be the head coach. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, Brett? No. Tony White's last 3 consecutive games, man. We do not want Tony White back here. At least not as a head coach. I would take Tony White back as a DC or an assistant, but no. What about Brett Bielema? That is intriguing. And you know what? Jonathan? That might not only be intriguing for Nebraska, that might be intriguing a little bit for Penn State. That's actually a really good point, Jonathan. Jonathan, you get the comment of the day so far. I have not seen Brett Bielema come up in any Penn State talks. But Penn State might hire Brett Bielema, man. They might. Because although Illinois is a little bit of a good destination, Penn State has more money. Brett Bielema has jumped ship before. He's went over to Arkansas, right? Interesting. That's actually a really good point. I kind of like that. Maybe not only for Nebraska, but I think Penn State could hire him for sure. Matt Rhule to Penn State confirmed per WilsonDittman. I did not say that. I said it's a chance and it's worthy of talking about. Okay, and I lead it off the show by saying the people who think it's a guarantee Matt Rhule's gone, that's not happening. That's not true, right? But again, it's definitely notable. And there's definitely a chance, right? There definitely is a chance. When you look up Matt Rhule's name and you see every publication say sources are telling me that Penn State is likely going to pursue Matt Rhule and give him an offer, tells you there's a legit chance, right? So it's worthy of discussing. It's worthy of being a little bit concerned about. Super chat in here. Sam, I appreciate the super chat. If you guys want to comment, right, instantly put in a super chat. My man Sam, hope you're having a good night. He says, what if Rhule tells us no, but leaves us in December? Like how they kept Mike Riley back in 2014. What if Rhule tells us no, but leaves us in December, like they kept Mike Riley in 2014? I don't know what you mean by Mike Riley in 2014. Like how Mike Riley left Oregon State? I don't know. I think, again, it's going to come down to how successful we are this year, right? Again, if we win 11 games this year and we go to the College Football Playoff, we win out, yeah, there's a real likelihood that maybe you'll leave at the end of November going into December, right? But again, if we win 7 games this year and we make it to the Pop-Tart Bowl, yeah, I think we're safe. I think Matt Rhule's not going to leave. So again, it just comes down to what we're doing this year. And just because and here's what I will tell you too, this is a good point. Just because Matt Rhule might shut it down now does not mean that Matt Rhule is going to shut it down in 2 months, because things are going to change. And Penn State's going to get more desperate as this process goes on. So they might offer him off the very bat. They might say, we're going to only offer you $8 million per year. And then they might get desperate and say, you know what? We're going to offer you 12. So it is what it is. Good point, though. Really good point. Chad says, trash show. Chad, I appreciate you. Thanks for the nice comment, my man. Thanks for the nice comment. That's hilarious. Again, when we get haters in the chat, I'll meme them sometimes. Like, well, why you got negativity all the time? Why are you guys being negative? Not you guys. I'm just referring to Chad. Chad, we're laughing at you, Chad. Come on, we're laughing at you, Chad. He says completely unrealistic. Gruden would be electric to join Penn State or join Nebraska. We got to clarify that. I wouldn't want John Gruden here. I wouldn't want him. I do love John Gruden, but once again, I think his best days of coaching are behind him. He's a content creator now. And again, I don't believe John Gruden can recruit. So I'm not really a big fan of NFL coaches coming to the college ranks unless you've been proven to have success in college like Matt Rhule did, right? So I think John Gruden's done. And although John Gruden has been vindicated for his mistakes that he made with the Raiders, he probably shouldn't have got fired. I just don't want that drama around the program. Whether or not he deserved to get fired or not, it's not the discussion for me to have, but I just don't want that drama here, because there's going to be some fans who'll be like, oh, John Gruden's so insensitive, we don't want him here. Like, I just don't want to put up with that, man. We dealt with that all the time with Bo Pelini. I just don't want some coach who's, acting a fool, a little bit. So it is what it is. We're at 66 likes on the live stream. Let's get it up to 100, everybody. Take a second. Hit that like button on the stream. Let's get over to 100. If you want Matt Rhule to stay at Nebraska, hit that like button. And also, again, if you're somehow watching this year not subscribed for daily Nebraska content, hit that subscribe button. What about Jed Fish? I mean, that's a really good point. I mean, I wouldn't mind Jed Fish. He's already been linked to the UCLA job. I could see him go to Penn State for sure. I could absolutely see that. They're having a good year, man. Washington's really, really successful. David, my man David, with the $5 donation. You guys want your comment written instantly, put in a super chat. David, I appreciate you. Everybody, subscribe to David, one of the best Omaha YouTubers out there. He says, if Rhule turns down the Penn State job, who do you think is the best under the radar or dark horse candidate for the Penn State job? I mean, yeah, it's a good question. I would say the assistant for Oregon right now is definitely up there. I believe his name's Will Stein. That is a very real possibility that they'll hire Will Stein. Right now, he's the offensive coordinator for Oregon. There's been a lot of rumors around him, so I could see that. That's definitely a dark horse. That's definitely one that's not being talked about enough. I mean, Manny Diaz, there is some legit smoke there. If he continues to have success this year at Duke, I could see him go back to Penn State. Other than that, I do like Will Stein, though. I think that'd be a really good fit. I mean, Brett Bielema is a good mention. Those are, I think if there's going to be dark horse, it would be Will Stein. I mean, he's one of the best offensive coordinators in America. I would say he's already the best. So I think that's probably what it's going to be. I don't think that Penn State's going to make a super flashy hire. Like, the whole Kirk Sneddie thing, I don't think that's going to happen. Kirk Sneddie's definitely not leaving. Definitely not leaving Indiana because they're already going to compete for a national championship this year. But definitely a good question. Uh-oh. We got an Iowa fan in the chat. We got an Iowa fan in the chat. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this, Iowa fan. He says, I hope Rhule leaves y'all bums. Hey, get out of here. Get out of here, Iowa fan. Get out of here, man. We're going to bring that butt. We're going to bring that belt to butt when we see you guys on Black Friday this year with your poor quarterback play. In Kirk Ferentz's last season, nonetheless, we're going to end him off on an L. Get out of here, man. Figure out how to have an offense before you come in here talking about our coach. Come on. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. We're not doing that. We're not doing that today. It's funny when we lost to Michigan, and a lot of you guys know this if you were to my Michigan live stream when we lost and we were doing our post-game reaction. There were so many Penn State fans in the chat absolutely disrespecting Nebraska. They were saying how bad we were. Like literally, we had like 10 or 20 Penn State fans in the chat just trolling me. Where are those Penn State fans at now? Where are y'all at now, Penn State fans? I saw one of you guys in the chat earlier. That's just one. Where are the rest of you guys at? Pretty quiet, right? 3-3, not ranked, right? Yeah, you wish you were us. You wish you were us. Penn State, I don't even know if Penn State makes a bowl game this year. They're going to go into Kinnick next week. And, even though we don't like this Iowa fan right here, I mean, Iowa might beat them. Iowa might beat them next week. And then they play Indiana. That's an L. And then they play Ohio State and Ryan Day. That's an L. And then they play us. Penn State might not make a bowl game. So where are you Penn State fans at who are talking crap about Nebraska? I don't see you. I'm willing to defend my team. I'm willing to sit here and defend my team. I ride and die with Nebraska. I bleed red, man. I bleed. I didn't say breed. Bleed scarlet and cream. So get out of here, Iowa fan, man. Figure out how to have an offense. Bill O'Brien? No. I don't think Bill O'Brien's going to go to Penn State. I mean, Boston College doesn't really... What's Boston College's record this year? I think they're, 3-3? Let's see what their record is. Dude, I remember a lot of people wanted Bill O'Brien here a couple years ago when we ended up hiring Matt Rhule. Boston College right now under Bill O'Brien is 1-5. 1-5. And that would be the worst hire in the history of ever if they were to hire Bill O'Brien back at Penn State, man. No, that's not happening. Do you think Franklin goes to the NFL? No, I think Franklin's going to take another head coaching job in college football. And why shouldn't he? I still believe that. James Franklin's a good coach. I mean, the results speak for themselves. Although he could never win the big game, he built Penn State to national relevancy. Okay, they won 10, 11 games every single year James Franklin was there besides 2020. So yeah, he collapsed these past 3 weeks, but I still believe that James Franklin's probably, a top 20 coach in college football pretty easily. So absolutely, James Franklin will be hired somewhere in college football. You know what? In a crazy scenario where Matt Rhule left Nebraska, I wouldn't even mind if we hired James Franklin. That might be a hot take. That might get some people mad at me. But I wouldn't be mad if Nebraska hired James Franklin. His track record speaks for itself. He's a great recruiter. He's a leader of men. I don't know, man. I wouldn't mind if we traded coaches if that would happen. I obviously don't want Matt Rhule to leave. I want Matt Rhule to stay here. If I had my choice, Matt Rhule would be here forever. Or not forever, but you know what I mean. But still, again, I wouldn't mind James Franklin here because I think he's a really, really good coach, even though he's had a tough 3 weeks. So we'll see. But right now, again, James Franklin doesn't have to take a coaching job if he doesn't want to. He's getting paid, $50 million as a buyout, the second highest buyout in the history of college football, second to only Jimbo Fisher. So, hey, James Franklin could just go on a vacation right now, go to Bermuda, go to Hawaii, kick his feet up, enjoy his life, drink some champagne, and say, you know what, I'm going to enjoy myself. So, really up to him, though. But I think James Franklin's going to have success in his next spot, no question. What about Dana to Penn State? No. That's not happening in a million years. Again, what Dana hasn't done enough as our offensive coordinator to take a real head coaching job. Like I think Dana probably could go to Oklahoma State because Oklahoma State's desperate. They're one of the worst jobs in Power 4 right now. Like they would still probably hire Dana despite him struggling this year with Nebraska a little bit. But no, Penn State's not hiring Dana. No. But I do think Dana. It is a real chance, a real possibility that he goes to Oklahoma State, despite, struggling just a little bit this season. Even though I don't want to act like Dana struggled. He's actually been pretty good, but maybe not the lofty expectations that Nebraska fans were expecting. So, Iowa has never won a conference championship, what a loser program. Yeah, let's get that Iowa fan out of here. I'm not even going to respond to him, man. He just wants a reaction out of me. It is what it is. 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 This guy says some of you guys are idiots. Hey, man, again, no, don't be going at other Nebraska fans. We all want the same thing. I think all of us want Matt Rhule to stay. We all want Nebraska to find success. We just disagree a little bit on, how to get there, right? We just disagree on a little bit on how to get there. We got an Alabama fan in the chat. What's up, Alabama fan? He says, do you think that the all-black jerseys are fire and it's a good time to wear them against USC? That's a good question. That's kind of random, but I kind of like the question. I kind of like the black uniforms. I don't like wearing them against USC, though. That's a good question. I'd rather wear them against Northwestern. In my opinion, when you play an iconic team like a USC, like a Michigan, like an Ohio State, you should wear your regular uniforms and then use your alternates maybe against an inferior opponent. So that's a good question. I'm impressed that an Alabama fan asked that. But I do like the black uniforms. So I think they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. And the recruits like them. That's all I care about. Got a super chat in here. If you guys want your comment read, instantly put in a super chat. My man, Byfield Racing. He says, imagine Penn State hires Luke Fickell and Wisconsin hires James Franklin. Dude, I don't think Penn State would hire Luke Fickell if they could hire him for free. I don't think they'd hire him as a defensive coordinator, man. Luke Fickell's terrible. Terrible. Brent Key would be interesting at Nebraska. No, he would not be. No. Brent Key, he's having success, man, but I do not want him at this program. I think he should stay at Georgia Tech for sure. Word on the street is that Alex Golesh to Nebraska if Rhule leaves. I don't think that's legit. I don't think that's legit at all. I do like Alex Golesh, though. He's a really good coach, but I don't think that's legit. And again, there is no word on the street because there's no rumors around that because Matt Rhule's still here. Okay, Troy Dannon is not reaching out to coaches right now. So there is no word on the street. There is no rumor that, we're hiring somebody. Like we already have a replacement in mind. No, we don't. We don't have any replacement in mind because we still believe Matt Rhule's going to be here, right? So why would we do that? But again, I wouldn't be too mad about it. Let's see. Nick Saban's retired for good. Yeah, Nick Saban's not going to Penn State. I know people are saying that. Nick Saban, why would he go to Penn State? If anything, he's going back to Bama, man. If anything, he's going back to Bama. Any rumblings or whispers about players jumping ship from Penn State now? There's obviously been a lot of decommits. We'll talk about that at some point on the channel. We'll talk about that maybe tomorrow. There's a lot of players who are decommitting from Penn State. As for transfers, nobody's entered the transfer portal yet, but I'm sure there will be at some point. Again, we definitely need to watch out for that because, again, there's some high-profile 5-star, 4-star commits who are no longer with Penn State who Nebraska should absolutely start pursuing for sure. But again, we'll definitely talk about that at some point this week on the channel. Maybe it's apples to oranges, but I think it would be interesting for Rhule to bolt after convincing players to come back to Nebraska last year and this year. Just feel his character is bigger than that. Yeah, you make a decent point, but who says those players aren't going to follow him if he were to leave? Like if Matt Rhule were to leave, I think a lot of players from Nebraska would follow him to Penn State. So yeah, he convinced a lot of players to come back, but he's going to convince those same players, hey, you should come with me to Penn State, right? So I don't really think that's too representative of the situation, even though I think it's a decent point. But again, yeah, I think Matt Rhule has great character. I think Matt Rhule is a stand-up guy, man. I really do. I think Matt Rhule, I just think he says what he means a lot of the times. I think he truly wants to be at Nebraska for the long term. But once again, this is a unique opportunity, right? This is a unique opportunity. And again, college football is so unpredictable. We know how unpredictable the sport is. We can't sit here with our right mind and say, oh, it's 100% guaranteed he's going to leave or 100% guaranteed he's going to stay. Nothing's 100%. Nothing's guaranteed. This is college football. And we know as Nebraska fans that we can never get the long end of the stick. Something always happens for Nebraska. We're cursed. So even when our program's looking good and even when we have a nice win here or there and, oh, everybody's excited about the future, something is going to come in our way and kind of mess that up, right? So maybe I have PTSD, but the second I saw the headline today, I'm like, oh crap, here it goes. Here it goes, man. Because we know as Nebraska fans, it can never be easy. It can never be easy. Penn State should hire Gundy. No, bro. Gundy should retire. Gundy should retire. Nobody's going to hire Gundy, man. Wilson, do you know about the Penn State AD and Rhule relationship? Yep, we talked about that a little bit earlier. Yep, again, to the people who missed it, the athletic director at Penn State was the former athletic director at Temple who hired Matt Rhule, and they're best friends. They're best buds. So again, very, very real possibility that Penn State or that will pursue Matt Rhule just because of that connection alone. It seems like Matt Rhule enjoys it here. I think he absolutely does. I think Matt Rhule loves Nebraska. Again, nobody's saying he doesn't like it here. He loves it here. He doesn't want to leave here. He has a great life in Nebraska. But once again, it's a unique opportunity. And I do believe a little bit in my heart of hearts that he would forego how much he loves Nebraska just to go back home. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see. A lot of Rhule's recruits are from the Northeast. Yeah, he loves the Northeast. Again, he has a lot of connections there, a lot of high school coaches there. He knows a lot of players down there, right? Again, he loves the Northeast. That's his place. Okay, he likes the Midwest, but he loves the Northeast a little bit more. Okay. And while Nebraska's his home right now, you can never take away your true home. Okay, you might, have moved on to a different place in your life. You might have moved to, Texas or Miami, but your heart's really where you grew up. Your heart's really wherever you were born, where you were raised, where you went to high school. That's really where your heart is, right? So his heart will stay and forever be in Pennsylvania. So if Matt Rhule left, who do you think our coach would be? Again, I'm not even really thinking about it because I'm hoping that Matt Rhule doesn't leave. I'm not freaking out just yet, but I think it's worthy of talking about. I think. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, I can't even tell you who I'd want the most right now. I mean, I would just do whatever it takes to get Cignetti, even though I don't think Cignetti's leaving Indiana. I would say, we're going to pay him $15 million and see if he leaves. I wouldn't be mad about Bielema. Bielema is actually kind of a decent option. If for whatever reason Matt Rhule were to leave, I would do whatever it takes to get Bielema. I think Bielema is a really good coach. Other than that, that's where there's not too many others, unless you want to get a coordinator or if you want to get somebody from the lower ranks, group of four, right? There's just not a slam dunk hire at this point. That's why I think it would be detrimental for a program if he were to leave, because again, there's just no coming back from that. It's not like we're going to find, a A+ head coach on the streets. Okay. And if there is an A+ head coach, he's not coming here. He's going to Florida or he's going to Penn State. So Eckler's head coach. I think we should absolutely interview Mike Eckler, but I'm of the opinion that Mike Eckler's wouldn't be a good head coach. Some coaches are meant to only be, players coaches. And you look at his history, he's been coaching for 20 years and he's always just been a linebackers coach or a special teams coach. I don't believe he's been a defensive coordinator. He's never really took that step forward to be like an assistant coach or interim. So again, I wouldn't want that for Mike Eckler. I don't think he would be successful in that role. He's a really, really good special teams coordinator. I want him to stay that way. It's the same deal with Bill Busch, right? Everybody wanted Bill Busch. People forget that. Everybody wanted Bill Busch when we fired Scott Frost. We were like, oh, we should make Bill Busch our coach. Like, no, we should not. We absolutely should not. Temporary Penn State head coach was Matt Rhule's assistant at Temple. I did not know that. Again, there's a lot of connections, man. Again, that's scary. It is scary. Again, it's more than just he's from Penn State. It's again the athletic director, it's the coaches, it's the area. There are so many connections. So that's why it is scary and it is legit. Is Matt Rhule going to have an explosive year 3 like he had at other programs? We're 5-1 right now, and we have a pretty, I'd say, easy schedule going forward. We play Minnesota on Friday. We play Northwestern. We could go 7-1, so I think it's a very real possibility. And do you think after the season, if he did have an explosive year, do you think he would be attracted to Penn State? Yeah, I do. Again, that's the double-edged sword right now as a Nebraska fan. Like, if he were to leave, or excuse me, if we were to go, 10-2, 11-1, make the playoffs, it is that much more likely that, yes, he would go to a different program. So, yeah, I do think that's a really good point, Alabama fan. I do think it's a good point. And also, Alabama fan, congrats on your victory yesterday against Mizzou. We do not like Missouri over here. We do not like Missouri, our old foe in the Big 8. So again, respect for getting it done beating Missouri yesterday. I wouldn't be mad. I would not be mad if we scheduled Missouri at some point. I want to play them again. Is it true Adidas got Franklin fired? I do think there's some legit. Yes, I do believe that's a legit rumor. Yeah, that's why they're paying the buyout, because the initial reason why they didn't fire him after UCLA is because they didn't want to pay the buyout. But Adidas literally stepped in last night and said, you know what, we're going to cover the entire buyout. You don't got to worry about it. So yeah, Adidas did step in there. Okay, and it should be noted, Adidas has ties to Matt Rhule, so Adidas is going to probably have a say a little bit in this head coaching job too. And Adidas might say, hey, we want our guy Matt Rhule to go over there. Again, there's just so many ties, dude. There are so many ties. I'm going to have to write these down. So I'm going to write that down. I think that's pretty good. That's a good one. It's a good point. Rehire Pelini. Okay, you got to be a troll. You got to. No, I'm just playing. No, we do not want Pelini. Pelini does not want to come back here anyways. Didn't Coach O come out of retirement? He says he wants to coach again, but nobody's hired him. I think somebody will hire him this offseason, though. I think Coach O's a good coach, man. I think he's a really good coach. He got the short end of the stick. What about Al Golden to Penn State? He played there and might be jobless if Zach Taylor gets fired. Yeah, that's one they want. There's a lot of Penn State fans who want Al Golden. That's one of the more popular ones I've seen. I could see that for sure. Hold on, I want to pull up this tweet that I saw earlier. I haven't reacted to this yet, but I pulled this up right before we went live. And this was by, I believe, a Penn State fan. I think this was by a Penn State fan. And he said, Penn State will likely take a crack at the following splash hires. Signetti, that's not happening. Dillingham, I mean, they might go after Dillingham, but Dillingham hasn't even done that much this year for Arizona State. So I don't think that'd be a great hire for them. And of course, talk a little bit about Matt Rhule. And they say how Dylan Riley will probably go to Penn State if that were to happen. So Jimbo Fisher. Oh, here we go. We got a ranking. Oh, this guy has Matt Rhule fourth. On his list. Yeah. Nick Saban's not going there. Urban Meyer's not going there. Urban Meyer, that would be a stupid hire. I don't know why every time that somebody gets fired, everyone's like, oh, Urban Meyer. Nebraska fans did the exact same thing. Dude, Urban Meyer is a walking case, bro. He is a head case. Like, no program should hire Urban Meyer. And also, Urban Meyer has never coached college football in the new age. College football is not like it was 10 years ago when Urban Meyer was at Ohio State. It is completely different. With NIL, with the transfer portal, with with everything, okay? Urban Meyer would not be successful in modern day college football. So. And then I don't think Kirk Snyder's happening either. So again, if this guy has his wish, Matt Rhule will be fourth on his list. I think it would happen. As for the other ones, Fran Brown, I don't know. Fran Brown hasn't done much with Syracuse this year. Pat Fitzgerald wouldn't be bad, but he got fired because of those allegations, right? He wasn't treating players very good. Chip Kelly, no. Brent Key, maybe. I think that's a dark horse. Schiano's definitely not going there. They don't want Schiano. And Bill O'Brien, they should not want Bill O'Brien. They should not want Bill O'Brien. Oh my goodness, that would be terrible. That would be just terrible. Somebody said they wanted Kirk Ferentz. That would be bad. That would be so bad. Kirk Ferentz is gonna go there for a 1-year stand. He gonna be there for 1 year and then retire. PJ Fleck would be great here too. Come on. No. Come on. Nebraska fans would hate that so much. I mean, we've never seen Nebraska fans riot until we hire PJ Fleck. If we were ever to hire PJ Fleck, they would hate it so badly. Nebraska fans hate PJ. They hate him, man. They hate him. I actually think PJ's a pretty good coach. I don't think PJ would be a good fit for Nebraska, but I think he's a good coach. I give him a lot of respect. But he's not a good fit for what we do here, for sure. Again, why is Signetti not happening? Again, it's as simple as, why would he take a step down? Why would Signetti go to Penn State? Why? What are your reasons? Okay. You either take a head coaching job because you believe you can compete for a national championship there, you think you have a better longevity there, or you're getting paid more money. Well, number one, he already has a national championship worthy team in Indiana. Okay, they are the number 3 team in America. They just beat Oregon yesterday. Why would Kirk Signetti leave his national championship worthy team to go to Penn State? And he has to rebuild them a little bit. So that's off the table. Why would he go there for money? He's going to get a fat extension. You got a fat extension last offseason. He's getting paid very well. And I'm sure he's going to get a fat extension once again. He's getting paid probably $11 million at the end of this year. And again, he's also a very old coach. So it's not like, oh, I have my whole coaching career in front of me. I have 30 years left. I'm just going to go try something new. Like, it's not like that. Like, he might retire in like 4 years. So I definitely don't think Cignetti's on the table at all for Nebraska or Penn State. At all. Is UCLA a big threat after building some momentum? Yeah, for sure. That could be a game Nebraska loses. I agree. It definitely could be. It definitely could be. Everybody take this time real quick to hit that like button on the stream. We're at what? We're at 107 likes to get to 120 likes. Again, once again, if you're someone watching this and you're not subscribed, we're the best family here on Husker YouTube. Please be a part of it. Hit that subscribe button. Getting back to the comment section here. Rhule has not won any big games yet. You're right. You're right. He hasn't. But once again, who can they hire who's better than Matt Rhule? Matt Rhule might not be a slam dunk hire for them. You might not be wrong. It might not be the prettiest hire in the world. But again, who would they hire that would be better than Matt Rhule? We've already discussed that I think Kirk Cignetти is not really a viable option. There's no other guys who are really that much better that they could hire. They're not getting Lane Kiffin. They're not getting Urban Meyer. They're not getting Nick Saban. So yeah, you're right, Brad, that Matt Rhule wouldn't be a slam dunk for them. But again, who's better? Who is a viable option and who's better for them? That's why it's a little bit concerning, because there's not really too many. There's not too many viable options who are objectively a little bit better. So money talks. You're darn right. Money does talk. Money does talk. Matt Campbell. Again, what is the infatuation with Matt Campbell? Matt Campbell. What is their record right now? I think they're 4-3, 3-3. They just lost to Colorado yesterday. No. Matt Rhule is not an upgrade. Or not, excuse me, not Matt Campbell is not an upgrade. It's not better than Matt Rhule. So, what is your Instagram? It is right here, at WilsonDittman. Give me a follow. Give me a follow on Instagram. Cheeky shout out. I will follow you guys back tonight if you give me a follow on Instagram. Mario Cristobal. Again, Mario Cristobal has a national championship worthy team right now, and he has family that's in Miami. Why would he go to Penn State? Why would he take a downgrade? That's a downgrade. John Gruden. Why would Penn State do that? Why would they hire a coach who has no college experience, who has allegations against him? Whether, again, I'm not even going to sit here and debate whether or not, again, that was valid or not, or whether or not he was vindicated. But, yeah, I mean, why would they hire John Gruden? He's not a better hire than Matt Rhule. Dabo's better. I mean, first off, Dabo's never leaving Clemson unless they fire him. And second off, I don't think so either, just because Dabo, I mean, look at what they've done this year. They lost, the first 2 or 3 games? So, no. Nope. Wait till the season plays out. If we slide and go 7-5 and Rhule leaves, we'll all be like, maybe. You're probably right, Dad. You're probably right. If I donate $20, you need to buy an Iowa shirt and keep it on for every stream and video. Man, I'm not here begging for. I'm not doing that. I'm not begging for cash. I don't need your money. I don't need dirty Iowa money. No way, man. Maybe for like $1 million I do that. $20? How low do you think I am? Nah. That's funny, though. Hey, I respect the Iowa fan in here giving us a little bit of a troll, though. We need some Iowa fans in here sometimes so we can laugh at them. What about Manny Diaz? I mean, I don't think Manny Diaz would be a significant upgrade from Matt Rhule. I don't think Matt Rhule's more of a slam dunk. The last time Manny Diaz was a head coach, not at Duke, was at Miami, and he was a failure. So I don't necessarily think so. But what else? Can Dana be a better head coach, seeing what Matt Rhule is with NIL here, especially if he left? I mean, he could be. And Dana wasn't a bad head coach. I mean, his record speaks for himself. I just think, again, when he was at Houston his final years, it was ugly. It was bad. There was a reason he was fired. He was not adapting to the portal well. He was not adapting to NIL well. He said when he was hired here that he liked, not having all the stress of being a head coach. So while I do believe that Dana at some point is going to be a head coach again, because I think that's in his DNA, he wants to be a coach, it's not going to be at a big-time program. It's not going to be at Penn State. It's not going to be at Nebraska. So I don't think so. Wilson, you are the hardest working man in Husker football. I appreciate that. I appreciate the nice words. Again, I try to bring you guys the breaking news, everything that's worthy being talked about. I try to bring you guys daily content. We are on, I think, again, 510 days of daily content. Again, it's easy this time of year. We got stuff to talk about, but man, I was in the mud in like February and March trying to find stuff to talk about around this program. We're talking basketball and stuff. So, hey, man, again, if you're watching this and you're not subscribing and join this family, daily content, only place you can get it, only place you get breaking news just like this. And we keep it real on this channel. We keep it real. So again, I appreciate the very nice words. Everybody's overlooking Joe Brady. I don't think that's a viable option. Where's Joe Brady even at right now? He's been thrown around recently, all around everywhere. Joe Brady is the offensive coordinator with the Bills. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. Because again, he was the hot name coming out of LSU. He never got a head coaching job in the NFL. I think he's going to stick in the NFL. I don't think he's come back to college. So, would Venables go to Penn State? I don't think that'd be a good hire at all. I mean, Oklahoma's having some success this year, but I don't think Venables is a great head coach. I think he's a good coordinator. I don't think he's a great head coach. So they might go after him a little bit. When do you think Penn State will announce the hire? It'll take some time. It's not going to be something that happens quick. I mean, if you expect Matt Rhule to leave tomorrow and you'll wake up and get the news, oh, Matt Rhule's gone, like that's not happening. I think it'll be a very slow process. It'll be calculated. There's going to be a lot of steps to it for Penn State. They're going to try to make sure they get the right guy. I would say, again, I'd probably say around Black Friday, around the end of the year, around the last week of the season. That's usually when you see all these hirings. So around the Iowa game is probably when they're going to announce something. So for sure. Will Nebraska take down Minnesota? We'll talk about it this week, my man. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'm either going to post my preview video tomorrow or Tuesday. I'm not sure. I have to record it tonight. So we're either going to do my Minnesota preview today or tomorrow. I might do it Tuesday now because I feel like this Matt Rhule thing is going to be the hot topic. I might talk about Matt Rhule a little bit tomorrow too. And then we will save our preview for Tuesday. I think that's what I'm thinking. But let me know in the comment section if you want the Minnesota preview tomorrow, if you want it Tuesday, because again, I'll do it at some point. Who does your homework? Thanks for the incredible productions. Man, I do my homework. It is it's tough. I mean, it's doing 1 to 2 videos a day, man. I literally, like, I'm doing 2 videos a day in the season. Yeah, it's tough, but I use my time very well. I don't have a lot of free time. I'll put it at that. But yeah, it's fun though. I don't treat it like a job. I don't treat it like a job. It's a very fun job. I'll put it at that. Ryan says this guy's a moron. Ryan, get out of here, man. Have some positivity, man. Have some positivity. Ryan says this guy's a moron. Hey, man. At least you have the wits to say to my face, man. That's funny. That's funny. Everybody laugh at Ryan. Ryan, have some positivity in your life, my man. Have some positivity in your life. Come on, Ryan. Ryan, don't be a Ryan. Don't be a Ryan. Don't be a Ryan. What about Josh Heupel from Tennessee? Again, I don't think necessarily that Penn State's a better job than Tennessee. Again, they have a lot of NIL money. And Penn State probably right now is, I think, top 5 in NIL. They just paid, like, David Sanders, that 5-star offensive tackle, a lot of money. You know, they should have paid Nico. They probably could have paid Nico if they really wanted to. But again, they have a lot of money there. So I don't think Heupel's going to leave at all, for sure. For sure. I'm throwing an NFL name out there that already lives in Pennsylvania. Mike Tomlin. I don't think Mike Tomlin should ever be fired by the Steelers. Mike Tomlin's a great coach. And also, I am just not of the belief that having NFL coaches go to college is a good move at all. It's a much better transition to go from college football to the NFL, but not vice versa. Because when you're going from the NFL to college football, it's a completely different type of coaching. Okay, NFL coaches don't really develop. Okay, NFL coaches don't recruit at all. They don't know how to do any of that. NFL coaches, all they do is they get ready for the game. They game plan at a high level. They are the smartest coaches because they're X's and O's. They know how to retain talent. They know how to bring you already from good to great. But what college coaches do differently is to take 18-year-olds who are 180 pounds and they make them terrible and they make them really, really good. Okay, so it's a completely different type of coaching. Completely different. So I'm not of the belief that NFL coaches should go to college unless they've already have experience in college. And Mike Tomlin, to my knowledge, does not have any. So, do you still think your 9-3 prediction is accurate? Yeah, I do. Although our schedule is easy going forward, I do believe there's a real possibility Nebraska, loses to even a UCLA, right, a USC. That USC is going to be a really tough game. I mean, USC will be very tough, guys. They just knocked out Michigan badly yesterday. Again, Penn State, we're sitting here laughing at Penn State, but I mean, Penn State still has talent. I know their quarterback's out for the year, but still they still have talent. They still have Nick Singleton. They still have Katron Allen. They still have Trevor Payne. Again, they got some dudes over there at Penn State still. And I could see Penn State rally around that interim head coach and they salvage what's left of their season and make a pretty good bowl game. So while we sit here and look at our schedule and say, oh, man, it looks pretty good, right? We could win out. There is a real possibility we still drop a couple, right? So I think my 9-3 prediction is going to be dead on. And I'm going to ride with it till the very end. But I'm 6-0 on my prediction so far this year. I predicted the Michigan loss. I think every other content creator picked us to beat Michigan. I predicted us to beat Maryland. Now, granted, I predicted us to beat Maryland by like 30 points. We only won by 3, but still, I predicted the victory. So we've been pretty accurate so far. But we'll see if that changes this week versus Minnesota. I might have a crazy prediction versus Minnesota. We'll see. I'm kind of nervous. I'm kind of nervous about that Minnesota game, man. I really am. But that's a conversation for another day. I think sometimes fans are missing. This is not just Rhule as a coach. It's how well he set Nebraska up with systems for NIL and people he has overseeing the program with it. Yeah, I think Matt Rhule's done a really good job, more than just a coach, right? He's a CEO. He's hired some really good people from the administration. He hired Pat Stewart. Again, it's going to be hard for Matt Rhule to leave here because, again, he set a foundation. He doesn't want to leave, but nothing he's done here isn't replicable. He could do it all again at Penn State in a couple of years. Okay, so for sure. It's a good point, though. Penn State pulls to UCLA. I could see that. I could very well see, again, Penn State rallies. They beat Iowa next week. They stun Indiana. You never know. They'll probably lose to Ohio State, but again, they could still salvage what's left of their year. You never know, man. Wilson, you cannot rubber stamp your anti-NFL coach comment. Zach Taylor would be an amazing pick for NU. I don't think so. I'm very anti-Zach Taylor. I mean, I wouldn't mind if we hired him as an offensive coordinator, but again, what has Zach Taylor done recently? What has he done recently? Right now, his Bengals are a train wreck. They just lost to the Packers today. He's probably going to be fired by the end of the season. A lot of Bengal fans want him to be gone. So granted, they don't have Joe Burrow this year. He's out for probably till December, but still, Joe Burrow probably carried him when they made the Super Bowl and played the Rams. So I don't think Zach Taylor would be a good pick for us. At least not. I mean, I would not mind him as a coordinator, but probably not as a head coach. And I'm just really, I have a lot of questions about coaches who, again, don't have college experience, and also guys who are coming off of being fired. Like, that's why when we hired Matt Rhule, I was kind of concerned about it, because I'm like, when you get fired, especially that publicly, like, it changes things in you. You either come back and you're better because of it, or you crumble. And Matt Rhule, we're lucky that he came back and learned from him, became a better coach. But there's a chance that Zach Taylor gets fired in a couple weeks and he crumbles, and he's never the same guy. So I don't know. I think Zach Taylor's not even meant to be a coach. I think he's just meant to be a really good coordinator. I think he's a heck of a coordinator. For sure. Y'all need the Lane Train Kiffin. Well, again, riddle me this, Tennessee fan. Why do people bring up Lane Kiffin every single time somebody's fired? Like, why do we always think Lane Kiffin's going to leave Ole Miss? Ole Miss is a good job. It's a good job. They're paying him well. They get recruits. I'm sure he has a mansion over there. I don't know. And also, our fan base is sensitive. You guys already probably know this, but we have a very sensitive fan base. I do not think Lane Kiffin is the type of coach that would get along with most Nebraska fans. Lane Kiffin says what he believes. Lane Kiffin, he's crazy. He's a crazy guy. I like Lane Kiffin for that, but I don't think he would gel well with what we do here. So, again, I think Zach Taylor's a really good coordinator. I just don't think he's a good head coach. That's just me. And you can disagree with me, but I don't think he's a good coach. Okay, I think really the reason why they made the Super Bowl the year they did is because Joe Burrow was on a heater. They had a great offensive performance. That was their best defense they've had in his tenure. And then after that, it all went to kaput, and they want him fired. So, but I believe Zach Taylor is one of the best offensive minds in college football or in the NFL. So yeah. Does all this commotion inside the program affect the way we perform against Minnesota? It shouldn't. I mean, if we had an incompetent head coach who let all this outside noise get inside the program, yeah, it probably would, but we have a head coach we believe in who does a really good job shutting down that program, having everybody get locked in, get ready to go, so it shouldn't impact anything. But again, it's going to be a hard game either way. I mean, we know how it is with Minnesota. That's family business. That's a rivalry game. They hate us, man. Those Minnesota fans want to go in there and I mean, really embarrass us on Friday. So it's going to be a close game regardless, and we got to bring our A game. So we got to block out the noise. But really, I mean, in a perfect world, I would just love if Matt Rhule said, you know what? He walked into his press conference tomorrow, and I would love if Matt Rhule didn't even get asked a question. I would love if Matt Rhule walked in there, said an opening statement, and just said, you know what, I'm not going to Penn State. And then said, give me some questions about something else. I would love if he did that tomorrow. Is he going to do that? Probably not. But well, that's what I love. Do you know how good the Gophers quarterback is in their offense? I do. Yeah, I just finished up my notes. I was watching some of their game from Purdue. So again, we'll do my preview video either tomorrow or Tuesday. We'll do my preview video of that ball game, talking about Minnesota extensively. So I'll wait. I'll save my response to that one. But yeah, we secretly love Kiffin. You guys hate him. Don't even get me started. Don't get me started. You guys hate Kiffin as much as anybody, maybe besides USC fans. I get the feeling from comments in press conferences that Julie Rhule wants something to do with leaving Nebraska. Happy wife, happy life is a 100% true statement. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. She loves Nebraska. I think she probably likes Nebraska maybe even more than Matt Rhule does. Again, they have a really good life here. Again, they have a mansion, man. A beautiful house. Again, their son goes to Lincoln. Their kids go to a really nice school in Omaha. I just found out. Yeah, I mean, again, they have a great life here. But again, I mean, isn't she from the East Coast? Didn't she go to Penn State as well? I'm sure Julie has some family in Pennsylvania to this very day. Maybe she likes Nebraska, but I'm sure she wouldn't be 100% opposed to it. Again, she has connections there too. Did you feel betrayed at the beginning of the year when Dana White left to go to Florida State? I'm not even going to answer that one. I'm Dana White. Yeah, when Dana White left and went to Florida State, I was real mad. Shout out Dana White though. Is the defensive line going to fix the issues with the run game as they were not tested a lot in the Maryland game? Yeah, that's a good point, Alabama fan. Alabama fan has some good questions though. I mean, yeah, I guess that's what I was a little bit disappointed with yesterday when we played Maryland. Like, we did a really poor job stopping the run. Maryland had one of the worst rushing offenses in the Big Ten going into that ball game, and they averaged 4.4 yards a carry. I think they had 130, 140 yards on the ground. Yeah, I was a little bit shocked by that. So that's a good point. We definitely do need to shut down the rushing attack a little bit better, but we've done a really good job recently of doing that. So I think we'll get better at it. But we did a good job versus Michigan State. Decent candidates if Matt leaves. Again, that's not even my headspace right now. I would be on the Brett Bielema train if that were ever to happen, but again, I don't want to sit here and talk about the candidates just yet because I don't think he's going to leave. I think it's definitely a possibility. And I should have made that clear from the very get-go. While it's a real possibility he could leave, in my heart of hearts, so I think Matt Rhule will leave? No. But I do believe that if an offer was on the table, he'd say yes. Unless something crazy happens in Nebraska. So again, I'd say the odds are like 30%. I'm thinking Franklin to Arkansas. I don't know if I like the fit there. I wouldn't mind Franklin to Georgia Tech. If Key were to leave somewhere else, I think he would go to Georgia Tech and have a lot of success. So, Tom Osborne interim, no, dude, I don't even know. I'm not gonna give you any of that. I heard that too. Julie has her job here. I'm hoping she helps Matt stay here. I feel like we do take full advantage of our schedule and finish 10-2 or 11-1. He's going to leave though. Again, I agree. Again, it's a double-edged sword, man. It's either we find a lot of success this year and we make the playoffs or we end really strong, and he leaves, or we don't play that well and he stays. So it's just the way it goes. But yeah, again, Julie, I'm sure she loves it here. She has her business, the salon. But again, it's nothing you can't replicate in Penn State. She could do the exact same thing at Penn State. They would buy property the second they took that job. They're loaded. Like, Matt Rhule has a net worth like $50 million. Like, they would instantly buy a new salon and redo it, right? Like, it's nothing they can't do overnight. Again, and I'm pretty sure Julie Rhule is from Penn State. I mean, I'll look it up for you guys. I feel weird looking it up, but where was Julie Rhule from? Who is Julie Rhule? I feel weird looking up the coach's wife. Julie Rhule. Okay, this article sucks. Where is Julie Rhule from? Here's one. Yep. So Julie Rhule went to Penn State. So his wife went to Penn State. His wife is from Montoursville, which is in Pennsylvania. Okay. So yeah, I mean, again, it is a real conversation to have. Julie Rhule definitely does like it here, and she will have a play in this decision. But it's confirmed that Julie Rhule is from Pennsylvania, and she's from Penn State, so it's worthy of being a little bit concerned about, at least, for sure. I don't think Penn State's going to go after Matt Rhule. He isn't that great of a coach. They aren't rebuilding their program. Again, you can think that, but who are they going to go after? I think Matt Rhule is definitely on their top 5. I think that's guaranteed. Who in here believes that right now in Penn State's big board that Matt Rhule isn't at least top 5? I think he's in the top 5 of all of theirs. Okay, so who are they going to hire besides him? And it's not Cignetti, so don't even say Cignetti. It's not him. Do you think Rhule would leave if we hypothetically went 10-2, made the playoffs? Yeah, I do. I think that would propel Penn State to give him an offer he couldn't refuse. I do. I think that's worrisome. If Rhule leaves, new recruits are going to bounce. Probably. That's why I got to keep him here. That's why we got to keep him here. Do you know why our fans boo Luke when he gets a catch? They don't boo him. They say Luke. It's not a boo. It's not a boo. We do that with everybody. We did that with Luke Reimer, Luke McCaffrey. Whenever we have a Luke, we just do Luke. Yeah, so we're not booing him. What's the money situation at Illinois? Would Brett leave for us? I mean, they got some good NIL. Like, I don't know if you guys have followed that at all, but they got some NIL over there at Illinois. But I think, again, he's somebody who's prone to leave. He left to Wisconsin before for money. We could probably offer a little bit more than Illinois. I would, again, if I'm Penn State, I would call up Brett Bielema. I would be interested in him. Matt Campbell, again, what's that perception? Matt Campbell is not a better head coach than Matt Rhule. He's just not. He's not. He would not be a better hire for Penn State. Again, Matt Campbell lost yesterday to Colorado, for crying out loud. I don't have to go to the history books here. I don't got to pull up the 2023 archives, 2024 archives. He lost yesterday to Deion Sanders. I mean, you can go ahead and hire Matt Campbell if you want, but he would not be a good coach. not for that situation. And he's not a good recruiter either. Matt Campbell can't recruit anymore. He's getting like 3 stars over there, man. Rhule is gone. Nebraska's future was bright, and now it's not. Okay, we're not doing that. No, it's not. Nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed, man. Lateef is the future of the Huskers. Does he leave? Again, when I talked to somebody very close to TJ about a month ago at this point, after the Akron game when he balled out, the person very close to TJ, again, I won't say who it is, but you could read him between the lines. He said that TJ's loyal. TJ could have transferred away from his high school, but he stayed. TJ could have decommitted from Nebraska when all the rumors are going on. He stayed. TJ's loyal. So I don't think TJ's going to leave unless coaches leave or, I don't know, some crazy happens. But I think objectively he's going to stay here. I'm guessing the list will look like Matt Rhule, Manny Diaz, Drink, Terry Smith, Joe Brady. Yeah, I think that's valid. Drink's one I think is interesting. I've seen that a little bit. So yeah, I think that's decent. But I honestly, of the bunch, I think Matt Rhule's the best candidate for him. So, do you think Penn State should hire Ed Orgeron? No. Nope. Do you expect Emmett Johnson to have that crazy game? I do. I think Emmett's gonna have a really good game versus Minnesota for sure. Yeah, he's gonna ball out. I think he can't recruit because he has no NIL to work with. I mean, you're not wrong, but I mean, look at the. Excuse me, dude. This Fresca is making me burp. Sponsored by Fresca. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not sponsored. But anyways, again, look at the recruiting classes. What, a couple years ago, right? They weren't any good either. So yes, the NIL is definitely not helping them, but I don't think again, he's just not a good recruiter as it is. Would you like Drink to Nebraska? I don't think so. Dan Mullen. What's Dan Mullen doing at UNLV this year? I mean, they had a really tough start to the season. I think they started off like 3-0 though, but they barely won a couple ball games. Dan Mullen and UNLV, they're 6-0. Wow, that's actually kind of crazy. UNLV 6-0 because they barely beat Idaho State. They barely beat Sam Houston. They barely beat UCLA. They barely beat Miami of Ohio. They barely beat Air Force. They might be the luckiest 6-0 team of all time. That's so funny. Hey, I mean, I like Dan Mullen. I think he's a really good coach. I think he shouldn't have ever been fired by Florida. But with that being said, we'll see how he finishes the season at UNLV. I don't think they're gonna. I think they're probably gonna end the season pretty poor with the way it's looking. Sark to Penn State, no. Sark, why would you ever leave Texas with the amount of opportunities there, with the money he's getting paid there, they have the best NIL in America. Why would anybody ever leave Texas willingly? No. If Rhule leaves, I think we should hire Dana. I'm not on that train. I'm just not. Again, Dana, what has Dana done this year to prove to everybody that he's worthy of being our next head coach? He's not been as good as Butler. So if we're basing this off of our best coordinators, we should have John Butler above him in our rankings. I'm just saying. And I get it, Dana's a past head coach, but still, like, Dana hasn't done much, man. And again, his best days of coaching are behind him, in my opinion. Can we keep Jacory if Matt were to leave, or is he loyal to Rhule? It's tough. I don't know. I feel like Jacory, if Matt were to leave, I think Jacory probably would enter the portal, but he probably wouldn't follow Matt. I think he'd probably go just wherever. He might go back home to Miami. He might go to Florida. Might go to Bama. If Jacory were to ever enter the portal, he'd have he'd get paid, man. He'd have a lot of bidders. We'll just put it at that. Is the offensive line going to hold up against Minnesota? You're asking all the good questions. You're asking all the right questions. I don't think so. They have a really good pass rush. We'll talk about that later down the line in the week. VTech is getting Franklin or Beamer. I mean, they're not getting Beamer. Virginia Tech's not a better job than South Carolina unless they fire him. Unless they fire Beamer. And I get the dad connection there, but still, I don't think he's going to leave South Carolina willingly. As for Franklin, I could see that. I actually kind of like that fit. It's kind of a good fit, Eddie. It's kind of a good fit. Dabo, no. Dabo's never leaving Clemson, excuse me. And I don't think they would hire him if he got fired. So, going back to the booing Luke thing, the only person Husker fans boo is Chucky Hepburn. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. We shouldn't have done that too. We should have never booed Chucky. We shouldn't treat our players like that. Like, we all the time we say, oh, Nebraska has the best fans. And yet, if a player ever transfers from Nebraska, or if a player from Nebraska goes to another school, we treat them like crap. Like, they booed Chucky. They obviously, the majority of Nebraska fans hate James Williams. There are a lot of other, like, in-state Nebraska players who left Nebraska to go somewhere else. Like, we sit here and we're like, oh, Nebraska is the best fans, and then we like boo all these players. But Chucky's a gamer, man. I love Chucky. I wish he came to Nebraska originally. I wish. Brian Hartline. I can see that. That's a pretty good option for him. That's actually a pretty good one. That might be a dark horse. What do you think of Drink? I like Drink. I think he's a good players coach. Had success in Missouri. He might. I mean, I could see that happen for sure. Think Penn State could pay the buyout of Franklin Rhule and give a better contract? I do, because they got Adidas money now. They got a lot of boosters. Yep. No hate, but why would they get Rhule when they fired a guy who doesn't win the big games as well? Because, simply put, there's not too many better options. Okay, they're not going to get Nick Saban. They're not going to get an A+ coach. So Matt Rhule might not be number one on their list, but I'm sure he's top 5. He's definitely top 10. And they're going to go down the line. They're going to say, well, Nick Saban said no. Dan Lanning said no. Kirk Sneddie said no. And then they're going to go down the list, and they're going to go their 5th or 6th option. They'll be Matt Rhule. They'll be like, okay, we'll see what Matt Rhule has to say. So that's the way it goes. Do you think we can get Lateef in like Haarberg and put him in at quarterback when we want short yardage with a quarterback? I don't think so at all. I don't think so. Because, again, when you put in Lateef or you put in Haarberg, it's a direct, you're basically telling defense, hey, we're running the football. Because we wouldn't have put him in the ballgame if it weren't for that. So I don't believe there should be any packages for TJ. There definitely should not be any packages for Haarberg. When we put Haarberg in the game yesterday for that little zone read, that was awful. Everybody in the stadium knew what was going to happen, including Maryland, and they stuffed him for a loss at 3. Dude, we're trying to like get him some pity snaps. I swear that Haarberg has like dirt on Matt Rhule. Like, we need to get him at least 10 snaps a game, or else the boosters from Kearney will stop paying their money at the university. Robert Saleh, I don't think so. He's meant to be an NFL coach, NFL defense coordinator. Current Jacksonville coach to Penn State, Liam Cohen, no, I don't think so. Yeah, again, all these NFL coaches, I just don't think they're realistic. What are your thoughts on the running back decommit? We'll talk about that at some point this week. We might talk about tomorrow. I don't know. We'll talk about it at some point. I'm debating what my video is going to be tomorrow. It's either going to be recruiting update, it'll be the Minnesota preview, or we'll talk about Rhule. We'll kind of put my final thoughts about Rhule tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll talk about that at some point, though. Who would Nebraska get if he left? Brett Bielema is definitely high on the list. Again, there's going to be the Holgorsen speculation. There'll be the Eckler speculation. There'll be the Kiffin speculation, as there always is. Yeah. I mean, the Zach Taylor speculation. Zach Taylor would be a big one. So, yeah. Yeah, those are the ones. But again, I don't want to. I'll do more research if Matt Rhule actually leaves. But I don't think Matt Rhule is going to leave in my heart of hearts. Dude, why do you think Cignetti would say no? Again, like we've talked about, why would Cignetti leave? Again, he's getting paid great. So he's getting money over there in Indiana. He's not leaving for money. He already has a national championship worthy team right now at Indiana. Why would he go to Penn State and rebuild that? Why? Makes no sense. And he's an old coach anyways. Like if he was like 40, I could see it happen. But he's what? He's like 63. He's like 5 years of coaching left. So no, I don't think he's leaving. Because again, they're going to be in the mix for the Natty this year. This year, they're number 3 in America. Jerry Neuheil's old at Penn State. Maybe, man. Hey, that's a heck of a coordinator, though. I'm worried about the UCLA game because he's a stud, man. He's a stud. If Rhule does leave, would it be mid-season or next season? If Rhule leaves, it would be late November. Joey McGuire to Penn State. I don't think Joey McGuire's a good coach. I don't. I think the only reason why Tech's winning right now is because they got like their roster's like $50 million because they got like crazy oil money. But yeah, I don't think he's a good coach. If you put him in any other program without all that NIL money, he's not succeeding. Teasley was predicted. Yep, I saw that. Again, we'll talk about that at some point on maybe tomorrow. It's Indiana, man. You yourself said that Indiana's success isn't sustainable. I mean, I don't think it's sustainable, but I'm sure Kirk Cignetti does. I think it's not the fact that Indiana isn't sustainable. It's his coaching style that, in my opinion, is unsustainable. Okay. So Indiana, you can have success there consistently. It's just the way he does things with the transfer portal. Okay. So that's why I'm not like super big on Kirk Cignetti, although he's having lots of success this year. But again, Indiana's a good destination right now. And I don't think he's going to leave there. And I'm sure he has a great house. I'm sure he lives in a nice part of town. Like we sit here and say, oh, have you ever been to Indiana? I'm sure it's not great, but I mean, Pennsylvania is not too much better for Kirk Cignetti at least. Is Penn State going to hire Rhule if they lost Nebraska? That would be, I think a lot of Penn State fans, if we walked in there and beat Penn State, a lot of them would call for Matt Rhule. They would, for sure. I honestly think Penn State will go after Oregon offensive coordinator. Yeah, again, that's one that I'm thinking. I'm thinking Will Stein is definitely a real possibility, for sure. But Penn State fired a coach that's similar to Rhule's accomplishments, but Franklin has done more. Again, there's not too many coaches, though, that are better than Matt Rhule. That's the thing. Yes, has Matt Rhule never won the big game? He hasn't, but again, there's just not too many better options. Cuban's money's backing Cignetti. Yeah, again, he's getting paid. What's his contract right now? What is Kirk Cignetti's contract? Hold on, let me pull this up. Because I know we got paid a lot more. Yeah, he's getting paid $8 million. And I'm sure he's going to get paid more after this offseason. I'm sure he's going to get more. So, would Trey leave if Rhule left? I mean, probably. When I've talked to Trey in the past, Trey said, I'm sticking with Nebraska no matter what unless there's a coaching change. So, I mean, I'm going to take his word for it. What is the future for Nebraska if Matt leaves? Feels like we're finally turning upwards and now he may leave. Again, yeah, that's the, I'm going to use family-friendly language. That's the crappy part of it, right? That's the crappy part because we know as Nebraska fans how tough it is to be a consistent winner. We know how tough it is as Nebraska fans to rebuild, to make bowl games. And it feels like this year we're finally taking a nice step in the right direction. And we know our coach might leave, right? So, yeah, it sucks. But here's the silver lining. I will tell you this. I want Matt Rhule to stay here. I want to make that very clear to you. But in my heart, I don't think Matt Rhule is ever going to win a natty at Nebraska. I always kind of thought Matt Rhule was going to be a bridge coach for us, where Matt Rhule would bring us to sustainability. He'd bring us to maybe 10 wins a year, 11 wins a year, and then maybe he'd leave or retire, and then we'd hire a coach who could be that upper echelon guy to win us a natty. So that's the silver lining if you were ever to leave. But again, depends on who we hire, right? If you make a boneheaded hire, all that goes to crap. Would Dylan transfer to Penn State? Probably would. He probably would. I'm sure everyone has said it, but Rhule's good friends. Yep, we've talked about that, Dallas. Yep. Good to hear from you, though. Skylar says, do you think Raiola is playing more conservative this year? Last year, it felt like he was willing to take shots like he did on the last drive of the game yesterday rather than going for hitch routes. I mean, I feel like he's been pretty aggressive this year. I mean, he's dialed up some big time balls to Nyziah, Jacory. I think he's been fairly aggressive. The problem simply is that we haven't been dialing up some big plays when it comes to Dana, and also his accuracy's been just so suspect down the field. I don't think he trusts his deep ball accuracy anymore. You know, sometimes there will be like a one-on-one that maybe he could fit it in a tight window to Jacory or Dane, and he doesn't throw that football because he's worried he was not going to complete it, right? So I don't think it's necessarily that he's just being conservative. I think it's just that he doesn't trust his deep ball because his deep ball has not been very good. So, do you think if Penn State fires Franklin... Well, they did fire Franklin. They did. Do you think he would try to go to another school to coach? Yeah, he will. He'll get hired somewhere. He's a good coach. Would Dylan leave? He probably would. What are the odds we could get Kalen DeBoer? Well, Dane and DeBoer overlapped at Washington for like 6 months. And Troy Dana was like the reason why he left. Because they did not have a good relationship. So I think it's probably 0% chance. And also, I don't think DeBoer's a good coach. So, I think he is a good coach, but he's not a good coach for Alabama. I'll put it at that. That's what I would say. I mean, I wouldn't mind. Okay, I'll retract that. I think he would be a decent fit in Nebraska. But, again, it's not like him and Troy Dana are best buds. Troy Dana botched that situation. Is it crazy to say that Minnesota's a huge game? Every game is a huge game, man. Especially if this is a big game. It's a rivalry game on Friday night national television. Yeah, it's absolutely a big game for sure. And also, you make a good point that last year we ended the season 1-5. Okay, we got to go on a hot streak right now. We cannot let what happened last year happen again, where we have bowl eligibility on the table and we don't do anything about it, right? So again, it's a big game. Hate that argument. Why couldn't he win a natty? Again, I just think Matt Rhule, the reason why I struggle to believe Matt Rhule would win a natty here is because he's never won the big game. Like, how can I believe a coach is going to win a natty when he's never made the playoffs? I don't believe he's ever won a conference championship. He got close at Baylor, and he's never won the big game. Again, I love Matt Rhule. I think Matt Rhule's a builder, and I think he's going to bring us to 10, 11 wins if he stays, but I don't know in my heart of hearts if I think Matt Rhule's going to win a natty here, maybe. I don't know. That's my hot take, though. Again, I know I would get people to disagree with me on that one, for sure. For sure. Do you think we go after Will Stein? I think I would go after him for sure. For sure, I would. Would Torrey Pittman leave? That'd be a little bit harder. He loves Nebraska for what it is, more than just Matt Rhule. Do you think Hunter gets drafted? Yeah, he should. Is Minnesota a sneaky good team? Are they mid? I'd say they're a little bit above mid. I mean, they're a really well coached team. We know how it is, right? I mean, PJ Fleck, heck of a coach. It's gonna be a tough game. No way Dylan follows Rhule. That would ruin his name and his dad's. It's not going to ruin his dad's reputation. It'd be hard to say no. That was part of the reason why he came here is because he loved Matt Rhule. He was not going to come here if Scott Frost was still here. I'll tell you that. So it's a little bit different. How is Drew out his draft stock with his current situation? I think he'll be a third rounder. He still has really high potential, man. But this season was a disgrace. He was terrible. Man. Why does Minnesota fans hate us so much? I don't know. They've hated us ever since we joined the Big Ten. They got some toxic fans, dude. They really do. They're going to talk crazy all week. I'm ready for it. Thoughts on Cincinnati being ranked ahead of us? I mean, they don't deserve to be ranked ahead of us, but I'm not even going to complain. Like, if we take care of business Friday night, we'll be ahead of them sooner rather than later. So it is what it is. Can't control it. It's fine. Rhule's a builder, not a big-time coach. Yeah, again, that's my thing. I believe Matt Rhule's a great coach. I want him to be here long-term, but again, when we hired Matt Rhule, that was always my vision. My vision was for him to be a Bo Pelini. Bring us to 10 wins, bring us to 11 wins, and then once you retire, we can maybe hire somebody who is your protege a little bit, and he can be the guy who brings us to the national championship, bring us to the relevance. I just don't know if Matt Rhule's done enough throughout his career that proves that maybe he can win a natty here. Again, and I feel like people are going to hate on me for that, but again, I'm not saying he's a bad coach. You can be a really good coach and never win a national championship. And again, we shouldn't be greedy as Nebraska fans to beg for natties, given that the fact that we've made one bowl game in the past 10 years. Like if Matt Rhule brought us to 11 wins or 10 wins consistently, he would be on my Mount Rushmore of all-time Nebraska people ever. Because it's one thing to win natties. It's one thing to do what Osborne did. I know a lot of Nebraska fans love Osborne. He's a legend. Not disputing that. But Osborne inherited a great situation. Okay, he inherited Devaney's team. That was great. Okay, and they already won 2 national championships, and it took him 20 years to do it again. So Tom inherited something that was great. On the other hand, Rhule inherited something that was broken, dead, defeated, nobody believed, and he could bring it to something great. So I hope that Matt Rhule stays here and brings us to prominence. It doesn't even matter about winning a natty. That's irrelevant to me. If he can bring us to being, again, relevant and ranked all the time, I think he's up there with Tom Osborne. And I know that's crazy. But again, it's one thing to inherit a good situation and do well. It's another thing to inherit a bad situation and build it back. So that's a hot take, though. I'm sure I'm going to get people who disagree with me on that one for sure. For sure. Again, I'm not saying Matt Rhule's a better coach than T.O. Not saying that. But I think Matt Rhule, if he were to not win a natty, but were to bring us 10 wins, he should be talked about very similarly. Good Karma says Rhule turns out his alma mater, state Nebraska. The cultural gods give him at least one natty. Hopefully, man. Hey, hopefully. You never know. Maybe if Buffett donates 1% of its bag to NU. I don't know. I think Buffett's more of a Creighton guy at this point. I know because I go to Creighton. I know because I go to Creighton. So I know that he's dropping some money. I know that Warren Buffett's dropping some money on Creighton for sure. For sure. Once again, everybody hit that like button on the stream. We're at, 144 likes? Let's get up to 170. Let's get up to 170 likes. If you're somehow watching this and you're not subscribed, come on, we got the best family here in Husker YouTube. Be a part of it for daily content. Hit that subscribe button. Getting back to the comment section, should game day be in South Bend or Tuscaloosa? I think it should be in South Bend for sure, because they play USC next week, right? That's gonna be a big time game. And I think Notre Dame's still a really good team. I think they're still one of the best teams in America despite their 0-2 start. Since he plays Okie State next, yeah. I mean, but that's not a very good win for him. I think if we beat Minnesota, that'd be a better win for our resume than them beating Okie State. So I think if we win next week, especially because it's on national television, like everybody's going to watch our game. Nobody's really going to watch Cincinnati's game. So if we beat if we beat Minnesota, we will be ranked ahead of them, even regardless if Cincinnati wins. That he should support the state school. I mean, I think Warren Buffett absolutely does, but I don't know. Warren has a weird tie to Creighton recently. Like Warren originally was a big Nebraska guy. And he would go to all these Nebraska banquets back in the 90s. He was very close with T.O. He was very close with Devaney when Devaney was the AD here. And yeah, I don't know. I think that relationship has kind of deteriorated over the years as Buffett's gotten older. Because I know for a fact that Buffett gives a lot of money to Creighton, but I can't say the same about Nebraska. And I don't know why that is. I don't know. I'm not in Warren Buffett's ear. Any new news on Ahmad Hudson? Not really. We might talk about him in a couple days though. I'm just joining now, but I've watched every video since right before the new year. For context, I think Matt's interested in Penn State, but I also think Penn State wants to solidify winner of the Big Ten games. I mean, again, you're not wrong, but once again, who are they going to hire that's better than Matt Rhule? There's just not many options. Again, Kirk Cinetti, I don't think he's going to leave. I've said that multiple times. Matt Campbell's not better. Manny Diaz is not better. Lane Kiffin's not leaving. Nick Saban's not going there. Urban Meyer's not going there. So again, there's just not many coaches on their radar who are better. Our schedule next year, I mean, it's tough. That's why we can't afford to have a new coach next year. So it's one of the toughest schedules in the Big Ten. We cannot afford to have Matt Rhule leave because, that is going to be a little bit ugly. A little bit ugly. What are your Mount Rushmore players of Nebraska? Mount Rushmore players. It's a good question. Okay. We'll go Johnny the Jet, number 1. We got to go Tommy Frazier, number 2. We got to go Sue, number 3. Robbed of Heisman, best, in my opinion, the best defensive player to ever play college football. And then number 4, I got to go with the running back, right? You got to add a running back to this list. It's got to be LP, right? It's got to be Lawrence Phillips. How could it not be? I mean, it could be Rozier. You could say Ahmad Green. Jeff Kinney, you could say some other guys in there, but LP was a different beast, man. LP was different. And LP had that killer instinct, that killer mindset, man. He literally had that killer mindset. So, yeah, LP, he's definitely probably on my Mount Rushmore for sure. Let me know your Mount Rushmore. Who's your Mount Rushmore, though? Let me know. Will Drew Aller go to the NFL or come back another year for a different school? I think he's lost eligibility. I think he can't come back. So he's definitely coming back or going to the NFL. Crouch won the Heisman, man. I love Crouch, but Crouch was not a top 5 quarterback in the history of Nebraska football. He just won the Heisman in a very weird year. Kind of similar to this year. Like, again, I think he won the Heisman with the lowest votes ever recorded. He got like a percentage of like 33% of the votes. And he was surprised he won the Heisman because he walked up there and did a speech, and it was like a 1-minute speech. He's like, thanks to my mom, thanks to Nebraska. Again, respect to Crouch. He had a great season in 2001, but yeah, I'm not saying he didn't deserve to win Heisman, but again, I'd say there were a lot better quarterbacks in the history of Nebraska football long term. I would say for sure T. Fresh is above him. For sure Turner Gill's ahead of him. And you can make some arguments for a couple others in the early 2000s as well. So, yeah, for sure. Honestly, I think the reason they gave Crouch the Heisman was because they didn't give it to Frazier. Because they gave Eddie George the Heisman in 95. So they were like, we got to give Crouch the Heisman here to make up for it a little bit. And then because Crouch got the Heisman in 2001, they're like, okay, Nebraska, they got too many Heismans. We can't give Sue the Heisman in 2009. That's kind of what it was. Dustin, thank you for the super chat, my man. Thank you for the super chat. $2. Thank you, my man. Dustin, hope you're having a good night. Allegedly, Signetti got extended today. I mean, he probably did. Let's be real. I mean, they just beat Oregon, right? If I'm Indiana, I'm paying that dude whatever he wants. Blank check. Kiffin or Dabo are long shots. Kiffin's not leaving Ole Miss, not for Penn State. Dabo, again, why would they want Dabo? Dabo's on a downward trajectory since the past decade. And I don't think Dabo wants to leave Clemson. Dabo loves Clemson. So unless he feels unwanted there, which, I mean, maybe he does. Those pretzels are making me thirsty. What pretzel? I got pretzels? I don't see any pretzels. I got this. I got this. The Freshka. Sponsored by Fresca. No, I'm not sponsored. I shouldn't say that. This is good, though. It's good stuff. Sparkling soda water. 0 calories, might I add. Can I get a way too early 27 schedule prediction? Nah. Again, there's so much that can change, Joe. There's so much that can change. And also, I'm going to do that video probably in December at some point. But again, we don't even know who's going to be on this team next year because the portal. I mean, there's a real possibility some of our best players leave in 2 months. So, like, to do a way too early prediction wouldn't even be valid. Who's better, Saban or T.O.? Saban. Yeah, I don't think that's a hot take. Again, respect to T.O., but what Saban did, Saban's the greatest to ever do it. I don't think that's debatable. What he did at Alabama was special. Rogers, Frazier, Sue, Crouch, Rozier. Yep, valid. Rogers, Remington, Rozier, Frazier, Sue. Yeah, that's a good one. That's good. Glover should be on there too. Glover was one of the best players on defense we've ever had. Gill not above Crouch? Nah. Gill is definitely above Crouch. Turner Gill is definitely above Crouch. Give Turner Gill some respect, man. Give Turner Gill some respect. One of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever had. Was responsible for one of the greatest offenses we've ever had in the 1980s. I can't, he didn't win Heisman, but he was close. He was either the runner-up or third in the voting. But partially the reason he didn't win is because Rozier was on the team as well. But, yeah, he was a stud. Is Nebraska good this year just because of an easier schedule? I mean, it helps. It helps. We're definitely better than last year, but, I mean, yeah, it helps. It helps. Our schedule's pretty easy. Sear Wright is currently my favorite player on Nebraska. Do you think he's a day 2 guy or a third or fourth rounder? I think he could easily be a day 2 guy. I think he could be, round 2, round 3. Yeah, I think Sear Wright's a stud, man. I mean, statistically, he's one of the best corners in all college football this season. So, absolutely. I love Sear Wright, though. He's had a really good year. We need to give him some more respect. It's funny how the cornerback position works. Again, when they're balling out and they're never being targeted, you never hear their name. But when they're giving up big plays, you're like, oh, I hate that corner. So we need to give some more respect to guys who we don't hear their name called too much, like a Sear Wright, Andrew Marshall, Kevin Gallick, our long snapper, right? Some of the offensive linemen at times, for sure. Gill started the offensive change to speed. Yep, exactly. Again, Turner Gill. I would argue he's the second best quarterback in the history of Nebraska football, and I don't even think it's particularly close. We got to give some respect to Gill, man. That dude was a stud. And again, I know I got some dudes here talking about Crouch. Again, respect to Crouch, But again, he won what was one of the weirdest Heisman votings of all time. Statistically, Turner Gill's better than Simon Close. Crouch, am I wrong? But Crouch had more interceptions in his Heisman season than he did touchdown passes. And I get it. It was a different offense, right? He was a mobile quarterback, but he had 10 or 11 interceptions. Yeah, I don't know. Again, not to say Eric Crouch is a bad quarterback. He wasn't. He was easily a top 5. Okay, he's easily a top 10 quarterback in the history of basketball football. He deserved his Heisman, but we got to give respect to Turner Gill. I wasn't allowed to see Turner Gill play. I've watched Turner Gill on VHS tapes, but Turner Gill is different, man. Different. Don't hear Lenhart's name. Yeah, Lenhart doesn't deserve it. He's on the milk card. He's on the milk card, my man. Got any early predictions for the bowl game? I'm thinking Missouri. I'm thinking either Missouri or Oklahoma. Those are the two. I hope we play an SEC team, though. I really do. Any news on Hartzog? I really doubt he plays this Friday. I don't think we'll see Hartzog back until USC at the very earliest. If I were them, I would shut him down until Penn State. Jerry Taggy, yeah, that's a good one. Jerry Taggy was great. That's a good one. Crouch was electric. Gill was not electric. Okay, but Gill was not a dual threat quarterback in the way that Crouch was. So that's not a correct comparison. It's not a correct comparison. What is your opinion? Do you think Rhule is going to Penn State? Yeah, again, it's definitely a possibility. Like so the people say, there's a 0% chance. That's not true. There is a real possibility he leaves. Nebraska, we got to control the money, control everything we can control, and hope the results speak for themselves and he wants to stay here. So it'll be tough, though. Nebraska wins out and they host a playoff game. I don't think we'd host if we won out this season and we went 11-1. I do not believe we would host a playoff game. Unless we made the Big Ten championship and won the Big Ten championship, which is probably not going to happen. No, again, we will make the playoffs at 11-1, sure, but we will not host because if we win out, we wouldn't have beat a good team besides maybe USC. What's up with Williams and Aaron? I'm seeing the pressure stats. Where are the sacks at? Again, Williams has a bad issue with getting pressure but not actually bringing the quarterback down. But granted, we've played a lot of mobile quarterbacks recently. Malik Washington was a mobile quarterback. Charles was a mobile quarterback. Under was a mobile quarterback. Sorsby was a mobile quarterback. So pretty much every quarterback we played this year is mobile. When we start to play these pocket passers, you're going to start to see the sacks a little bit more for Winery, specifically this week. With the way Raiola has been playing, will he leave for the draft after next year or will he stay for his senior year? It's tough. I mean, there's just so much that we don't know. There's so much we don't know yet. Like, how much of a jump does he take next year? Because if he was a solidified first-round pick, yeah, he's going to leave. But if he's like a second or third-round pick, yeah, he'll stay. So it just kind of depends on how big of a jump he actually takes. Let's not get into bashing any Husker greats. Exactly. We're not bashing them. I'm just saying, give Turner Gill some respect. That's all I'm saying. Brian Hartline. I like Hartline a lot. I would like Will Stein a little bit more, but yeah, I absolutely do like Hartline. What do you think happens with Buford moving forward? I mean, yeah, there's a chance that Buford starts next week versus Minnesota and not Guthrie. Guthrie played okay at times. I'm not like super sold on Guthrie. He's not good in coverage. But Buford really isn't either, so we'll see. But they rotate a lot. Just because Rex Guthrie starts now doesn't mean that Buford's not getting a lot of playing time. He's in there a lot too. So, how much are we paying Rhule? We're paying him, I think, 9.5, which is like top 20 in America. He's getting paid a lot, man. That's why I'm not like a super big fan of like, oh, we need to pay him like whatever he wants. Like he's already getting paid a pretty decent amount, you know. So okay, somebody just I don't know if this is reputable or not. Yeah, I have no idea if this is reputable or not, but I just got a text from somebody. Okay. I'm debating whether or not I want to say this on the live stream. Okay, I don't again I this is I don't know how solidified this is, but I just got a text that Rhule told the team today that he has no interest in the Penn State job. However, we're not sure if he would say anything different. Okay, I don't know if that's true or not. I might text somebody somebody on the team to see if that was true. I'm gonna hold on, I'm gonna text one of my buddies on the team right now. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know if that's true or not true, but apparently Matt Rhule told the team that he has no interest in the Penn State job. But again, granted, if that is true, like it's not like he's going to sit there and say, "Oh, I'm going to take the Penn State job right now." Like, I don't know. That's interesting though. I just got that text. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not going to sit here and say don't take my 100% word for it, but that's what I received from somebody who has given me some good info in the past, man. So I'll text a player tonight who I'm close with, and we'll see whether or not that's true or not. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that's true, but we'll see. We'll see. But I'll make some text tonight. We'll see if that's actually legit. I'm trying to think about that right now. Yeah, that's definitely a good sign. But I'm not surprised. It doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Is Nebraska a playoff dark horse? I mean, if we went out, absolutely. We went out, absolutely. Hot take: the portal might be a good thing. I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't believe in good players who are already in a really good program transferring out for more money. You know what I mean? I don't think that's healthy for the sport at all. So I'm not necessarily a believer of that. Do you think they will bring back division of the Big Ten now? Penn State don't seem too enthusiastic there. They don't want him, man. They don't want him. They do not want him. I'm going to check Twitter right now and see if anything's going on Twitter. Ooh. Okay, one of the Nebraska beats just said that they expect Matt Rhule to shut down all the rumors tomorrow. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything significant going on. Yeah, again, I texted one person. I'll text somebody after the live stream, but there's nothing crazy going on right now. I don't see anything. Interesting, guys. Interesting. If we're a 10-2 team, are we a playoff squad? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. We just don't have enough quality wins. Miami went 10-2 last year and didn't really have too many quality wins, and they didn't make it. So that's kind of the downside of how easy our schedule is. I think the only way we make the playoffs is we win out. We'll see though. I think Troy Dane is now on the committee though, so he might pull some strings. You never know, man. You never know. Supposedly, Rhule is taking a round trip flight to Penn State in late November. Maybe, man. Maybe. I heard he's actually going to be there. I think on November 22nd. I think he's going to be there. Guys, breaking news: Matt Rhule is expected to be in Penn State late November. He's expected to take a visit there. He's expected to be in College Station, or excuse me, State College. Holy crap! So, yeah, breaking news. Breaking news is going to be there. Matt Rhule always says Penn State and then in Nebraska second. Yeah, again, yeah, he loves Penn State. That's no disputing that. No disputing that. Crouch has rushed for more yards in the history Well, that's not true. He's probably rushed for more yards than any other Husker quarterback. Again, yeah, was I alive to see Crouch play? No, I wasn't. But I wasn't alive to see Turner-Gill play. I'm guessing you guys weren't either. So, again, I get it. You guys have a connection to him because, again, you were growing up watching Eric Crouch. But, again, we got to give respect to Turner-Gill, man. He's a legend. He's a legend. I think if we beat a ranked USC and get over the hump, we will beat Penn State. I could see it. Again, it just depends on how Penn State responds. They have the talent to beat us still. They definitely still have the talent. Again, they still have Katron Allen. They still have Nick Singleton. If they rally around their interim, they could make a run, right? But they could crumble. They have a tough stretch coming up. Could we make the playoffs in 10-2 if they win over ranked USC but a loss over UCLA? I don't think so. I don't think so. Again, our schedule's just not easy. It's not hard enough to make the playoffs at 10-2. We don't have a lot of big time wins in that aspect. So they're going to do whatever it takes to keep us out. They're going to go after the Indiana coach. They might, but again, they're not going to get him. Why would he leave? What needs to happen in order for us to go to a conference championship? As in, who needs to lose Big Ten wise? Well, again, we need Indiana to lose a game at some point. That's what we need. Because Ohio State's just going to win out. I guarantee Ohio State will win out. We need Indiana to lose, I think, 2 games. So in that case, Indiana's schedule going forward is super easy. Indiana might go undefeated. Yeah. Honestly, though, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't think we want to make the conference championship. I don't think that's a good thing for us. It's going to be better for us if we don't make the conference championship, because here's what happens. Let's say we make the conference championship at 11-1 and we lose to Ohio State. We're not going to make the playoffs. Rather, if we go 11-1 and don't make the conference championship game and we don't lose to Ohio State, we will make the playoffs. So I think that's kind of already off the table, and I don't really want to make the Big Ten championship game anyways, because really it's going to hurt us more than it will help us. Is there a chance College Game Day comes to Lincoln versus USC? I doubt it. I doubt it. Yeah, there's probably some better games that week. I mean, I'll look at it real quick here. Let's pull up the games for that week. What is that, week 9? Or no, that's week 10. Will Game Day be in town? Well, we were thinking it was going to be Penn State, Ohio State, but probably not anymore. Okay. Okay, actually. Hey, man. Georgia, Florida, maybe. There's a chance. There's a chance. I will say this, though. ESPN does not like to go to Big Ten games unless it's like solidify the Big Ten games the best game of the week. They do not want to go to Big Ten games. They'd rather go to SEC games because they have the TV alliance there. So, I mean, there's a chance, though. There's a chance. That's a good point, actually. I don't even think that was probability. So, we are still sloppy. What I saw in the third quarter, the fourth quarter, reminded me of when we played Northwestern. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed about yesterday. I don't know. People were kind of crucifying me a little bit because I was in my post-game video. I was kind of not happy about the win. Again, it's important to me that we won the close game, and that was obviously a great development for us. But at the exact same time, I was a little bit disappointed with yesterday because, again, we probably should have won by a lot more. Right? We outplayed Maryland for the majority of the ball game. We had a better rushing attack, better defensive performance. We made some mistakes, but not as many mistakes as Maryland. We never took advantage. And like Nebraska kind of always does, we had the opportunity yesterday to blow them out from the very get-go. We could have went up 14-0, and we didn't. And we let them come back, and we threw 3 interceptions. So that's why I was a little bit disappointed with yesterday. I mean, again, it's about a standard. It's not just about winning, but it's about a standard, as Matt would like to say. So, yeah, I was disappointed. And I also, I'm kind of just waiting on our coronation. I think we could still make the playoffs, but at some point, you just got to blow out a team and prove it, right? At some point, you just got to stop having these close victories. At some point, you got to start blowing out squads. And we're talented enough to beat Maryland. Bad. I think yesterday, there were some massive coaching issues, and it was just because Raiola was not on his A game, frankly. I mean, Raiola had a bad game. He just did. So again, I was kind of disappointed. Like, I got more excited as the day went on. Like, I made my post game video and I was kind of depressed, and I was pointing out all the things we did bad. And then I went on my live stream and then I started to get excited about it. But again, there was no point in yesterday's ballgame where I thought we were going to lose. And I guess that's why I was disappointed, because I thought we were going to blow them out. I really did, and we had the opportunity to blow them out. I was right where we had a chance to take it to them in the first quarter, and we let them come back. So that's why I was disappointed. You know, I'm sick and tired of Nebraska keeping these teams around, man. I'm sick and tired of that. Okay, impose your will on an opposing team. Just do it once, or else it's just not going to happen, man. So I'm just tired of, and I'm also tired of being these close ball games that go down the wire. I don't want to have my heart tugging in the fourth quarter. Like, I want to get TJ in there. I want to get some reserves, some reps. You know what I mean? What's Nebraska's most daunting challenge? Probably USC for sure. Marcus Freeman getting the Penn State call. I don't think he's going to leave Notre Dame. He shouldn't leave Notre Dame. He shouldn't. That's a good place to be, man. It's a good place to be. I would absolutely call it Marcus Freeman, though. He's a heck of a coach. Heck of a coach, heck of a recruiter. It's okay to not be overly happy about the win. They're making progress. Yeah, I agree. I think, again, we should always be happy about victories because we know how hard it is to get them in the Big Ten, but also we need to call a spade sometimes when we're struggling, for sure. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. You're darn right. You're darn right. If Rhule leaves, he will bring most of the team with him. Probably. Yeah, you're probably right. Again, but let's hope we don't have to have that discussion. What are your 2 losses you expect in order to hit 9-3? Well, preseason I expected Penn State and UCLA. That's probably changed now. But I don't know. I got to save those for my preview videos. I can't expose that just yet. Do we have the best fans of college football? Definitely top 5. Definitely top 5. Especially the internet presence is crazy, man. Definitely top 5. Yeah, it's hard to find some who are better. Notre Dame fans are pretty crazy. Texas, I don't want to say Texas. Oklahoma fans are pretty crazy. Bama fans are pretty crazy. All the SEC fan bases are crazy. But yeah, we definitely a top 5. For sure. We're so loyal. We're the most loyal fan base. That's a fact. That is a fact. How do we beat the close game thing? Don't stall out in the second quarter and forget how to play football. You know, I mean, I think really it stems with Dylan Raiola. These lapses in judgment, he loses concentration. It goes back to Dana, right? I think the play calling at times, he's just too reliant on the passing game. Defense, we still go have big plays when we shouldn't. We struggle we're stopping the run. We struggle with these mobile quarterbacks. So, yeah, it's mostly coaching. If Matt Rhule leaves Nebraska, would you consider Paul Chryst a viable substitute? No. Paul Chryst is done. No, he's terrible. No. I'm actually surprised Paul Chryst didn't get back in coaching. Because he's been done for a while now. So, all right, guys, fun live stream. We've been going for about 2 hours, man, 2 hours. So again, I'll go for about 5 more minutes. Put your final stuff in the chat. Again, hit that like button. Again, we're at 165 likes. Let's get up to about 200. Hey, everybody, hit that like button if you haven't already, and also again, subscribe for the latest. If you're not subscribed, now's the time to subscribe. It's going to be a crazy couple months. You thought the content was crazy recently. The content, it's going to be nuts. Going into November, going into December, going into transfer portal season. So again, now's the time to subscribe. Join this family while you're at it. It would help me out a lot. All right, final stuff here, guys, because I'm losing my voice. And I got to record a lot of videos tonight. I got to record the Minnesota preview, tomorrow's video, a bunch of other stuff tonight. So I got to rest my voice. I got to watch the rest of this NFL game. Hold on, what's the score of the NFL game? I haven't even looked at it at all. I started the live stream right when that game started. Ooh, Chiefs are up. Okay. Come on, Lions. I need the Lions to come back there. Need the Lions to come back. All right, final stuff in the comment section, guys. You know, Paul Chryst originally came from Nebraska. It's irrelevant to me. Again, Paul Chryst, his best days of coaching are completely behind him. We shouldn't hire coaches because they're from here or from Iowa or from close. It's irrelevant. I've been subbed for about a year. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Have a good day and go Big Red. Absolutely, my man. If Rhule leaves, bring back Bo. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We might have the most loyal fans, but some Nebraska fans make us look bad. It is what it is. It is what it is. There are always different sides of the fan base. All right. Final stuff in here. Again, we went for about 2 hours. All right, guys. I appreciate all of you guys. We will be back tomorrow with a video around 9 o'clock. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what we will do tomorrow. Again, it'll either be recruiting Minnesota or we'll just kind of wrap up the Matt Rhule stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm on the fence about what we'll post tomorrow. But we'll post something. We always do. Watch you every day on my lunch break. I hope you don't experience burnout. Not this time of year. I definitely experienced burnout in like February and March doing daily content, but this time of year, it's fun. I mean, it's fun to make content. It's tough sometimes. I mean, it takes a lot of my time, but it's fun. I do it for fun. I love it's a good time. It really is. So we have respectful fans. I agree. I think the majority of Nebraska fans are pretty respectful. Have you watched Snapback Sports? I did watch that. All right. I gotta get out of here, guys. All right. We will be back tomorrow, 9 o'clock video. We'll probably also have a video at some point in the afternoon, probably talking about the Matt Rhule presser. Because the Matt Rhule presser is going to be big. That's going to be big. So we'll have 2 videos per usual as tomorrow. But we'll see you guys around 9 o'clock, 9:30 on the channel. And we will post something. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate you guys. As always, hit that like button on the way out. We're at 180 likes on the way out. Everybody hit that like button on the way out. Let's get to 200 likes. Again, appreciate you guys. Have a good night. Turn on that NFL game if you wanna watch that. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Go Big Red. Go Matt Rhule. I hope you stay in Nebraska. See you in the next one.